What's going on, people? Welcome back to another edition of Parlay Madness. We've been on a mad streak recently, cashing a lot of bets, and hopefully we can do it again. You know, the UFC's in Azerbaijan, first time ever in Baku. So I'm hoping for some no dodgy judges, no robberies, nothing like that. You never know when the UFC goes to a new place, but we'll see how it goes. We're going to do our best to make money anyway. So we got a special guest, as you can see. Appreciate you joining us. UFC lightweight contender, Chris Duncan. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, my man. And we got my man, as always, co-host, Jewish Better. How you doing, bro?
Good. Thanks for having me, bro. And I'm happy to be on here with my man, Chris Duncan. If you guys don't remember, we actually had a war in the past. He broke my arm, and we had a good scrap. He wound up getting the job done, but it's all good. No, I'm just joking. Happy to have you on, my brother. And that was a great win. And, man, you've been on fire lately, dude. And I'm loving to watch it, bro.
Thanks, man. Thanks. It's easy to do it in the gym, but it's hard to do it on where all the bright lights are. So I'm slowly piecing the puzzle together, and every fight I'm feeling much better, and I'm obviously here to stay.
So you obviously got that because of your laugh. I'm assuming you got that reference from JB, because everyone always says he looks like Yanel Ashmouz, and I have to.
I got that for sure. I got that as soon as he said it. I got it. It must be the beard.
Yeah, I think so. Zara, how you doing, bro?
Good, bro. I'm hyped for this card. I think it's a pretty good fight night. And then I'm obviously super hyped to have Chris on the show. This is crazy, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Random, came out of nowhere. So before we get into it, Chris, at the moment you're in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, training over there.
Yeah, that's correct. So I flew over last week. I knew kind of word of mouth that I was going to be fighting Rebecca. Just word of mouth, and then he was already here training at ATT. He trains here. So because this gym's so big and I haven't trained with the guy, obviously I accepted the fight. So I'd heard through the grapevine that he'd turned down 2 fights, so he was already kind of pushed. I don't think he turned down fights because he didn't want the fights. I think it was just too quick for him. So like they maybe give him a last minute, like a 4 weeks notice. So it's not ideal. So they gave him my name, and he was kind of pushed into a corner, I think. So bad corner to be pushed into, if you ask me.
Yeah, man. Okay, nice, bro. So you said he trains there. So he's not training there right now, though?
No, he is. Yeah,
Really?
I'm in room 9 and he's in room 8.
Oh, like, that's mad.
I can literally hear him masturbating at night time.
have you come across him and stuff?
Yeah, we walk past each other now and again. To be honest, I think he's a little bit more shaken up from it than I am. I don't think he feels confident. That's not the right word to use. He just feels like there's like a tension there that doesn't need to be there. Whereas, you know, I'm so used to. I've been fighting like people since I was small, and confrontation, I don't like it, but I know how to deal with it when it's in front of me. So it's not really affecting me as such. I can kind of tell it's affecting him a little bit. Maybe it's going to be good for him that it affects him. You know, it could be a positive, but certainly it like everybody's saying, does it feel weird? Not really. If anything, it helps me slightly, you know, because there's always that when you're going to walk into the cage or you're going to walk and meet your opponent for the first time and you're going to stand next to him, you know, there's always that kind of nervous feeling, whereas I don't have that with him because I'm walking around him all the time anyway. So, yeah, it's just another day in the office for me. The next time, obviously, I've never trained with him, but the next time I'm going to be in contact with him will be fight night. So then we're going to get paid from it.
Yeah, good man. And this is definitely a big fight. You know, Rebecca's a decent name in the UFC now. Obviously, he went to war with Orolbai, who we'll speak about soon because he's fighting on this card. I'm sure you've seen that fight. You know, that was a good 15-minute brawl. Have you? Obviously, I don't know. You know, if you let your coaches do the tape or you watch it yourself. Every fight is different, right? Like, there's some fighters I know they don't do no tape. They don't want to know anything. Like, coach, you tell me what I'm meant to do. I don't even want to look at any good things about my opponent. I just want to focus on myself. What about yourself? Do you watch tape like we do? Do you let your coaches do it? How does that work?
Yeah, so to be honest, when it comes to different people, it doesn't really matter like what they're doing. Obviously, with Brembeki or however you say his name, he's he's going to bring what he's going to bring. He's kind of shown all of his kind of. I don't feel he's going to pull anything out the bag that's going to be untoward. Like I don't think I'm going to get the Rebecca that's turned up for these last 5 fights. He's going to throw leather. I've never had an easy round with a Polish guy in my whole entire life, so it's going to be a fight. And he's been trying to mad dog people in the UFC, and it's just kind of wearing on him a little bit. You can see that. I'm never underestimating him. I know he's on my level. I know he's the right opponent at the right time. But like I say, he is on my level, and I just need to prove to everybody that I am levels above, and he is a very dangerous fighter to go ahead against. But you guys are analytics. You have looked at fights. He brings it. He's got some tells. He's got some obviously things that he fucks up a lot on. He makes quite a lot of mistakes. We're just there to capitalise, and everybody's like, who are you going to be training with for that? Because he's a hard guy to train for. It's not so much training for him, it's about problem solving on the night and understanding what he's going to throw. I'm training with Dustin Poirier right now. He's southpaw, obviously completely different style, but southpaw, but I'm still having to problem solve when it comes to sparring. So it's just going to get in there, the lights will be turned on, the cage door will be shut, and then I'm just going to be doing all these equations in here.
Yeah, man, that's cool. JB, you got any questions for the man, Chris?
Yeah, man, that guillotine. How do we get so good at that? Is that something we're going for in training all the time? Okay, he's showing me the grips.
Yeah,
he's showing me the grips here. He's giving the secrets.
So that's the thing, man. It's one of these moves that I've literally caught every single person I've trained with it. Like absolutely everybody, whether it be front headlock, Darce, Anaconda, you name it. People just haven't seen my full game. And like I said to you before, it's really difficult to put everything together when it comes to fight night. So it's slowly getting better, slowly getting easier. And it was actually Dustin that showed me that hand position, and he kind of modified it for myself. I was already quite good at front headlock, but him changing the script for me, I've managed to sort a few sequences from it. And it's just really all down to American Top Team and their coaching abilities over here. It's they never put one flag in one place. There's not one system that works for everybody. They're quite happy to, okay, Chris is good at this, let's work this. So it's just the best gym in the world to be involved in. And like I say, they don't put their flag in one place, and they allow you to have your style.
I love to hear it, bro. I'm actually a really big fan of that gym and what they're doing. Who's going to be in your corner for the Rebecca fight? Is it going to be the same coaches, or are you going to?
Yeah, Tiago Alves, Mike Brown, and Robert Whiteford.
Yeah, that's a hell of a corner, man. So I'm going to be rooting for you, bro. And yeah,
Thank
don't
you.
be silly, baby. Jump.
Yeah, I don't know if you see my tattoo, but I got that tattooed on my leg for a reason. So it's made me a lot of money. Put it that way.
I love to hear it, bro.
One of my you guys like this sort of stuff, but one of my sponsors, Rock and Roll Tattoo Studio, he put me on second round submission, 40-1 on my last fight, and he put £100 down.
No
bro,
way.
it's so good.
Insane.
So
That's
good.
crazy.
$4,000 off that. You deserve a free tattoo at least for that, man. Fuck
Yeah,
I did. He gave me the tattoo for free. And he gave me this one, and he gave me this one.
That's such a sick story, bro.
Yeah.
My coach, one of my coaches, Jeremy Fields, I don't know if you ever trained with him before, but he messaged me right after your fight, and he never messaged me ever, and he goes, I want you to put a bet on this Scottish guy, Chris Duncan. I'm like, he already won, my guy. He messaged me now.
Hey, listen, I don't know what the fuck these guys are thinking. Sorry if I'm not allowed to swear on here, but what the fuck are these bookmakers doing? Like, that's my last fight. I was like 3-1 underdog, and then the one before that, I was 3-1 underdog. My Contender Series fight, I was 3-1 underdog. Like, do you think I'm just coming over to American Top Team and getting my fucking arse handed to me? Like,
they're making us money.
Exactly. Like, these people, like, obviously my training partners know how good I am, and like, obviously they respect me, but I'm like thinking to myself, what the fuck are these bookmakers thinking? Because like, I had a bad night in Mexico, but I went into the Lions Den. I went in with some injuries that maybe I shouldn't have went in with, but you know, that's part of the game. I needed to get paid. You know, it's just I could make all the excuses under the wall, but one bad performance and they all write you off.
Yeah, that's what happens in the game, and that's why we're able to make money from it. That's why I've been able to make a living from betting on MMA. It's literally because of what you said, you know. So one of the things that I always try to spot, and I did it last week with Kamaru Usman, like you said, and it wasn't even a bad performance, but a few losses on his record against the best fighters in the division, Khamzat Chimaev and Leon Edwards. And now he's a massive underdog against Buckley, who had never fought at that level of competition before. And he was a massive underdog, and you know that's how we make the money.
Well, I seen like I don't really like his personality. I don't really like Buckley, and then his attitude, and you know he was saying that sometimes I feel like people will like speak what they're feeling. So he's like he's not confident. He's not confident, and I'm like, sometimes you speak like what you're feeling inside. So I was like, this guy, I think Kamaru Usman's just going to absolutely tailgate him and smash him, and he did. I wish I could bet on fights, I tell you.
Yeah,
You
man.
think Baku was projecting a little bit at those weigh-ins, calling him, saying that stuff?
Yeah, did he?
Yeah. No, he said like what you said. He's like, oh, he's not confident. I can hear what's inside
yeah,
his
yeah.
brain. He was projecting, bro.
Yeah, that's right. That's totally right. It's totally
If
right.
I could, can I ask you about the Oki submission real quick?
Yeah.
Like that was crazy. So did you like let it go because you thought he was out, or did you let it go and then you were surprised, like, oh, he's out?
No, so what happened was he did a shit shot. I got his neck, and like obviously, like because he's dark skinned, his head is like obviously like a Brillo pad, so his hair was so dry, and I could feel it on the back of my arm, and I was like, I've got him. He's fucked. And then I was like, I'm just going to put everything into this, and I was squeezing, and I was like, he was like pushing his hands on the mat, and he was pushing back, and I was like, he's going to tap soon. He's going to tap soon. I was like, oh shit, he's not going to tap. Fuck, this guy's tough. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to. So my corner, Thiago, he said, if you're not got it, Chris, you need to move on. Don't waste any energy on that. So I was like, okay, no problem. Feet on the hips, hands in the head, tried to push him away. And I gave him a couple punches. So like I wanted to just touch his eyes, just so he postured up so I can get my feet on his hips. Bro, he just wouldn't get up. And in the moment, I was like, oh, he's heavy on top. He's got a good ground game. And then I was like, oh, he's not moving. He's dead. I was like, it's like he's out. He's out.
Dude, that must have been sick.
Yeah, bro.
Crazy feeling.
Oh. And then as I was standing up and the ref was holding my arms, I was like, oh my God, I'm glad he went out because I've gassed my arms. So I was like, I'm fucked. I couldn't even, like, the ref was like lifting my arm. I was like, oh.
Put some juice into that one.
Oh, jeez.
It's good that you stayed out for a while. Sorry, Zah, go on, bro.
Oh no, I'm just saying that was 50 G's, right?
Yeah, that changed my life forever. Well, changed my family's life. I don't need nothing. Like I get loads of sponsors' clothes, and I think the most expensive thing I bought was my Prada glasses. I bought that right after the fight. I was like, fuck it. But like my family's life changed forever. You know, I took them on a holiday. The first time I could ever do that. I took my fiance's mum with us. You know, it was just surreal feeling, and everybody's like, "What did you spend it on?" And I was like, "I bought an air fryer." That's about it. You know, I'm going to be smart with my money. I'm going to put it into some things that I have already set up. It just takes a bit of time. So, you know, people are like, you shouldn't be thinking about anything else other than MMA, which I don't. But Plan A is obviously MMA, and Plan B is going to support Plan A. So if I can put Plan B in place without having to do anything, you know, just kind of passive income, that's going to make Plan A going to be so much more easy. Because before I even won the 50K, even when I've won the 50K, I'm still pretty tight with my money. I'm pretty smart with my money. Like even just like things like buying clothes, like pants and socks and shit, like that doesn't feel so much like, oh my God, that's £30. You know, I don't need to worry about that, which is fantastic. Obviously I've got other worries, but you know, being able to actually buy myself pants and socks is it just feels different, you know. And then sometimes I'll look at my bank account and I'm like, oh fuck.
Bro, that's sick. That's dope.
Yeah,
Anyone who's trying to save money, I'm a fan of, you know?
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
He's saying his name's the Jewish better. That's why he's saying that one. But yeah. So, Chris, we could honestly, like, hopefully we can do this again. Like, we could talk about this all day, but I'm going to get into the card now. And, you know, you said you like to put your money in some smart places. I got a couple smart places to put your money in this weekend with some of the bets that I've got locked in. So,
nice.
I never want
to remember, I can't put any money on fights, so I might need to get my friends, you know, just to maybe help me out a little bit, you know.
We can sort that one out somehow. But yeah, Zah, if you got the card, we'll bring it up and we'll get straight into it. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We got 280 live viewers already. Everyone's saying some people doing shit. All-time classic KO and Charlie Campbell from the brink. Yeah, that was an epic one.
Yeah, that was legendary.
I mean, we could probably speak for 30 minutes about that one. Like, that was a war within 2 minutes, and then he's unconscious. Like, that was a great fight.
My hand's still sore.
That was a nuke. Just one punch.
But yeah, everyone's shouting out Chris Duncan in the chat. We got lots of
some love for Chris, man.
Lots of love for you right now. So yeah, we'll get into the
Thank
card
you, everyone.
And see if we can make some money this weekend. Last week we had one of our best weeks ever. Like, we broke down every single thing. We called Alonzo Menafield plus 500 odds, Kamaru Usman plus 230. That was a good one. So
can I talk real quick about how like, I hate to brag, bro, but we've been on a fucking roll, bro. We've been on a fucking roll. I gotta talk my talk, bro. Like, I think you're about to break 100 units this week. Yeah. Your boy JB is plus 32 units in the last like 10 weeks or something. That's fucking ridiculous. So show the parlay, man. This guy some love. We got Chris, the problem motherfucking Duncan in the building, and we're ready to get this money again this week, and we're ready to smoke this pack. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. So Jamal Hill taking on Khalil Rountree. These are like Alex Pereira's losses fighting each other, and it's an interesting fight, boys. I'll just go quickly on this one because obviously, you know, when the fight got announced initially, I was like, okay, Khalil Rountree's an underdog here. Maybe there's some opportunity to bet him. And then obviously now the fights took place, and now Jamal Hill's the underdog. So the line has completely flipped. And as I always say, boys, we don't bet on who we think's going to win. We bet on where we think there's value on the line. And I honestly feel like this is a type of fight where you just bet the underdog, you know, because I think there's path to victory for both fighters. Overall, I do think Jamal Hill's the better fighter. And what I mean by that is he's been in there with the better guys. I feel like he's had better performances. He was the champion. He beat Glover Teixeira for 5 rounds, a very good performance. Khalil Rountree, if you go back and look at his career, man, I mean, some of his losses are not aging that well. You know, he's got multiple losses in the UFC against fighters who are nowhere near the level of someone like Jamal Hill, right? So he's got losses against Ion Cutelaba. And, you know, anything can happen. Ion Cutelaba runs a lot of people over early. He's also got loss against Marcin Prachnio, which is probably the worst loss of any of their career when you look over it. And that wasn't too long ago, right? Khalil Rountree seems like a confidence-based fighter. And what I mean by that is when he gets his game going, you know, he's obviously got a good Muay Thai stance and, you know, he's cracking the legs, cracking the head. But when things start to turn for him, and it may just be the cardio issues that he has shown in his career because he's got a lot of muscle. He's a ball of muscle. You know, he doesn't perform that well in the later rounds when the going gets tough. Whereas I feel like Jamal Hill pushes through a little bit better. You know, he's shown elite cardio before. Remember, before the Alex Pereira fight, Jamal Hill was known as the best cardio in the entire light heavyweight division. I mean, the guy's setting strike records, UFC records, breaking them against Glover Teixeira, throwing hundreds and landing hundreds of strikes over 5 rounds at light heavyweight is elite. You know, as we know, the higher the weight class you go, the less strikes they're throwing, the worse cardio it is, which is to be expected. But Jamal Hill, this guy's got the cardio and output of a lightweight, right? And he's a light heavyweight. So I just feel like as the fight gets into the later rounds, we could see Jamal take over. But Jamal Hill's had these bad injuries, these knee injuries, you know, surgery on these injuries and stuff like that, which obviously isn't a good thing. And I'm trying to expedite the breakdown now because I honestly could speak about this one for a long time. But I'm going to go with Jamal Hill here. I think he's just performed at a much better level in his entire career. And if he shows up the guy who I've seen him be in the last, you know, maybe 2-3 years ago, I honestly think he can make it look easy against Khalil Rountree. One thing I will say is Khalil's went over to train with Christian Knowles, who's Jonathan Haggerty's trainer. so that that he's a good trainer, but he's a Thai fighter. He's not an MMA trainer at all. Knows the academy over there. It's a Thai gym. So I think that maybe he comes in showing his Muay Thai stance, like super Muay Thai, like he did in the Eric Anders fight when he did a year in Thailand, and then he comes just being pure Muay Thai, which I don't think necessarily going to be that good against someone like Jamal Hill, who's going to jab, who's longer than him, who's going to circle the outside and the jab. So yeah, great fight, but I'm going to pick Jamal Hill to get this one done, especially as the underdog. Chris, have you seen these guys fight a lot? Like, what do you think is going to happen in this one?
Yeah, so I've always been the type of guy who kind of bets with the kind of fighter who I like, and that's probably because why I've not been so successful when it comes to betting. I always bet on my favorite fighter or someone who I like, so that's probably what my issue is. That, like what you said there as well, I feel like Jamal Hill came out of the fight with Alex Pereira. He got knocked out. Obviously, he wasn't badly beaten. Whereas I feel like Khalil Rountree from his last fight with Alex Pereira took a lot of damage. You can even see it on his face. He's got scars. These things add up. Like, see, to be honest, having a fight with Alex Pereira and not coming away with some damage is pretty slim. So I think from listening to you guys and talking about not betting on somebody who you like, I think you might be right with Jamal Hill as well. Obviously, Jamal Hill got a kind of clean knockdown. He wasn't completely out, but he got a clean knockdown and the fight was over. Some people contest and say that, maybe it was a little bit early, but maybe not. I feel like Khalil was probably taking a bit more damage, and then he just went over to England and probably just done Muay Thai sparring, so he's probably took more damage again. So yeah, I think you're pretty right in your justification to pick Jamal Hill. And Jamal Hill can bang.
Yeah, definitely. He got some. I remember cashing a plus 150 underdog price on him when he fought Jimmy Crute, and he knocked that guy out in the first round. And I think a lot of people have forgot that Jamal Hill actually does have some sneaky power. He's rocking Jiri with a lot of shots. I mean, someone posted a clip the other day on Twitter, I believe it was, where Jamal Hill lands a beautiful uppercut on the inside against Jiri Prochazka, and Jiri just eats it because he's one of those guys. Like, he's from Czech Republic, like you're saying, you never have had a easy fight against a Polish fighter. Czech Republic, same region, like those are tough motherfuckers. So he ate it there, but I just don't know whether Khalil Rountree can eat the same shots that Jiri did. I will say though, you mentioned the war he had with Alex Pereira and taking a lot of damage. Jamal Hill just had a mad war with Jiri Prochazka as well and took a lot of damage in that one and actually got knocked out in the third round. So kind of similar to the Alex Pereira one. So they're both coming in off wars here. So that's what I said in my breakdown on my podcast I did the other day as well, which is like, it's just hard to trust these guys coming in off like insane wars. Some of the best fights of the entire year was the Pereira and Rountree and Hill versus Jiri one. So, you know yourself as a fighter, when you're coming back off a war like that, sometimes you don't perform to the best of your abilities. So yeah, no. Great fight and looking forward to it. JB, what do you reckon about this one, bro?
Yeah, I love getting the fighter perspective of it per se, man, because for us, it's just, we're obviously analyzing the fighters, but there's more things that go into it, like you say all the time, lucrative intangibles, things outside the octagon. So yeah, I love to hear it. I'm going to be going with Jamal in this spot too. It's purely a line play. I think if, Jamal shows up at his best pre-knee injuries, he's minus 150 here, maybe minus 200. And if he shows up looking like the Jamal he did in his last fight, I think he probably even is pick him here. So you're going to give me slight dog money on the guy who I think has more proven cardio, power. Maybe I give a slight edge to Khalil, but it's not even that much. Like, Jamal has good boxing and he's a tricky southpaw. If he hits you with that left hand, you're probably going to get hurt. So yeah, he had Jamal. He had Glover Teixeira's blood all over him at the end of their fight. That was literally one of my favorite moments in MMA. So yeah, I love it, dude. I'm going to be going with Jamal Hill here. I think he has a chance to bounce back here, maybe get a buy low spot on the better guy.
Yeah, and that Glover Teixeira fight should have been a knockout. It should have been stopped in any of those rounds, 2, 3, 4.
Well, they wanted to give Glover a chance because he's just a fucking legend. So they were going to let him go out on a shield.
Yeah, so knocked out Glover in my eyes. Knocked out Thiago Santos, Jimmy Crute. Like maybe he gets back to a knockout here, and you can't blame him for not knocking out Jiri or Alex, man. Like, come on. So, Czar, are you going to complete the circle jerk, or are you going to go on the other side?
Yeah, unfortunately, circle jerk. I think it's 50-50. And then obviously I have money on Hill because I got some like plus 120, plus 130. So I'm gonna pick my side. But I think it's 50-50. Similar like thoughts to you guys.
They're both southpaw, aren't they?
What's up?
They're both southpaw. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they are. They're both southpaw. Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna play out for Hill personally. What do you think?
Say that again.
I think it's gonna play out better for Hill personally. I believe he's fought southpaws before, right? Like the OSP is the southpaw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have in the chat saying Jamal's never lost to a southpaw, but Khalil got finished both times by a southpaw.
There you go. I was right.
Wow, our chat's sharp, huh?
Our chat knows, bro. Sharpest chat. Well, no, that's Liam stuff. I won't say that, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think like I trust Hill if it gets in the later rounds. Like I think Hill's got to play it safe early, stick on that jab, stay at distance, while Khalil is most dangerous. I feel like the first couple rounds, Khalil could put some damage on him, but I trust Hill's cardio and pace more than Khalil's. I just feel like it's more proven, like you said, against Glover, like he's setting records and stuff. And Khalil, he looked good his last fight, but he slowed down a little bit, like exploded a lot to have success, used the speed explosion. And if he can't get you out of there, that's not a 5-round style. So I feel like, Khalil could hit his win condition first few rounds. He could knock him out. But Hill can knock him out in any round. And I feel like he might take over later when, Khalil's less dangerous and he can, start throwing longer combinations, start exchanging more. When Hill's more like comfortable and there's less danger, I feel like he might take over. So I'm on Hill. I'm on Hill like round 3, 4, 5 KO. I think it was like plus 700. And then I have a little bit on just like straight up KO in the 200s. So yeah, I think it's 50-50, but I'm going to pick my side, obviously. So I'm going to go Hill.
Yeah, that's a good breakdown, bro. So maybe we can write down Hill, especially if he's still the underdog. Maybe we can write down the 3, 4, 5 KO. I like that as well. It's going to be tough for Rountree to last to a decision because I believe that in round 4 and round 5, if it gets there, Hill's really going to be doubling them up on volume. Hill's going to be, still there, landed a million shots. Let's not forget, before he got knocked out in round 3, the guy's landed a million shots. Against Alex, Khalil's not landed a million shots in round 3. And we've seen time and time again, the volume difference and the cardio difference is massive with these two guys. So, yeah. If it goes late, we're live.
I also feel like JB was saying, like it's like a buy low spot on Hill. I think it's also mixed with it's like an all-time high. Like the market's high on Khalil, right? Like this fight was scheduled before the Alex fight, and Hill was like a solid favorite. And after the Alex fight, and he lost, it's the line was flipped. Like Khalil was the favorite now. So even in a loss, the market is high on him because he won a couple rounds off the champ. He looked good. It was a good fight. A lot of people tuned into that. So I think that loss is like Khalil's best, performance, and the market's really high on him. So I feel like it's like a buy low on Hill and sell high on Khalil. I'm not saying you can't win, but just, market-wise, print prices-wise, I feel like that's a kind of a big movement.
Yeah. And that's like what you were saying earlier, where, you have one bad performance and then the odds just go crazy. And it happens the other way as well, where like Khalil had a really good performance against Alex. He won the first 2 rounds. He hurt him a couple of times. And so now he's a favorite against someone like Jamal Hill. Whereas, if he maybe didn't perform that great in that fight, he would have been an underdog. But you have to look at the whole body of work. You have to look at all of their fights. You can't just look at one fight and say, this is the fighter they are, because many things go into it. So I feel like that's what we're getting here. Rountree, great performance against Alex. So now he's the favorite when I wouldn't make him a favorite. If anything, I'd make him a slight underdog.
Yep. We good for the next one? I wrote down, this is what I wrote down. Is that good? All right.
Yeah, good stuff, fellas. I like it. If you guys are watching, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and show us some love. We're going to get that pack this week.
And follow the problem on Instagram.
Yes, the problem 155.
More important, follow the problem.
You got enough followers, bro.
Yeah, I know. Fuck.
To you, but yeah, follow Chris, of course, man. Interested to hear your take on this one, Chris, because like this is a great striking matchup, you know. And oftentimes in MMA, we have to like cap in a million different things. But with this one, I honestly just feel like they're just going to stand and bang. You know, Fiziev, I feel like maybe would more likely to go for a takedown, which is kind of crazy because he's a pure Muay Thai striker, training over there in Thailand. You know, a coach, a Muay Thai coach out there in Thailand. But this is a great striking matchup. Both of them have very different styles, and I honestly don't know how it's going to play out. I'm leaning to the Fiziev side. I feel like his striking arsenal is a bit too deep for someone like Bahamondes, and his experience is too much. But you could argue that he's on a bit of a downslide. And if he is, someone like Ignacio Bahamondes could take that trajectory. So I'm on the Fiziev side. I won't break it down too much. But Chris, what do you think about this one?
So I trained with Fiziev in Tiger Muay Thai. Nothing like didn't really train properly. Like had a couple like light wrestling rounds with him. You know, really experienced fighter. Believe it or not, I think he struggles with his weight from time to time. I've heard some stories, not from like any of his close friends or anything like that. I've just heard through the grapevine that sometimes he struggles with his weight. And I feel with this one, I'm going to go with Bahamondes because I feel he's young. He's got the hunger, the drive. I think obviously Fiziev has been through. He's been through a lot of fights, like you said before. He's got the experience, and you know he's getting paid well. You know it's not the same as when you're up and coming. You know you're not just as hungry, and I feel that maybe Bahamondes has got a little bit better in the ground game, and I think it will end up into a clinch position, and maybe Bahamondes can maybe wrap up a front choke or something like that. You know, he's pretty slick. You know, if he had the confidence in his last fight, you know, to just kind of pull guard and triangle his last opponent, you know, it just kind of shows his full arsenal. And it also, you know, his main training partner's Bilal. You know, nobody knows who he is, but you know the good fighters know who he is, and he's not a guy to be messed with or taken lightly. So, you know, I feel that maybe Bahamondes will have the kind of more full game. I don't think he'll shoot, but I think he could capitalize on maybe the clinch positions, and use his jiu-jitsu to maybe get the W.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I don't think many people will be calling Bahamondes submission this week. And obviously he's coming off a sub, right? So you would think that they are. And I could be wrong, but obviously Fiziev, elite takedown defense, you know, some of the best takedown defense we've seen in the division. And, you know, Bahamondes, he doesn't really go for takedowns. So it would probably have to be like a clinch position, like maybe he puts his head down, wraps up a guillotine. Like hopefully he's been, well, for him, hopefully his sake, he's been training that grip you showed, you know, because I do feel like Fiziev still, you know, has a big gap in the jiu-jitsu just because he's such a seasoned striker. You know, he's been striking from a young kid. So it takes a long time to catch up the gap in the jiu-jitsu specifically. So we haven't seen him on the ground that much before. So it's kind of hard to say. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls something off like that. JB, what do you reckon?
Yeah, if you remember last time out, JB was one of the very few people to say Ignacio Bahamondes could submit Jalen Turner. And like an idiot, I said, let's play round 2-3. And he goes out there. And to be honest with you, dog, I thought Jalen Turner was having some success in the grappling against Bahamondes. You know, he took him down. It looked like he was going to pass guard. And then he wound up in the triangle. And I don't know if it's because Bahamondes has those long limbs, but it seemed like he made a critical error, like putting himself back in the triangle. It looked like he had it out to escape. And then, you know, obviously Bahamondes locked it up. And once he locked it up, it was over. He obviously had it. And then Jalen Turner, you know, kind of retired after that fight. So he's coming off a big win, but we have to look who it's against. And I believe Jalen Turner is an amazing fighter, but I just don't know if his head was in that fight. And after the fact, I kind of know it wasn't, because that's what he said personally. So
yeah, when it comes to guys that are wanting to fight, you know, I think it's an easy road out. You know, if you're saying I'm going to retire, the day I think maybe it's time to retire, I'm going to stop. Yeah. So, you know, obviously the money's good when Jalen Turner is top 10 or top 15. I think, like, obviously Bahamondes has capitalized on his quit mentality. So, if he was already out of the fight before he was even in it, if that makes sense.
That's a great point, dude. Honestly, I like Bahamondes, dude. And another thing that you mentioned is he has those sick front chokes. We saw that against Rong Zhu. That was one of the reasons. And, he trains with Bilal. Obviously, he's getting in with those guys, Lewis Taylor. He's obviously training the jiu-jitsu. And, I've seen Fiziev shoot before, too. So it's not impossible that he, hurts him on the feet. Fiziev shoots a shot out of desperation. And he wraps it up, especially with those long arms that he has. So I love the call, man. Crazy one off the rip. I think on the feet, it's going to play out interesting. If there is no grappling, I do give the advantage early personally to Fiziev. I think, in the early rounds, he's very explosive. He lands very well to the body. And I think I saw some crazy statistic, and you see it in the fights as well. He lands like 40% of all body strikes that he throws. And that's the best in the lightweight division. I think Bahamondes could be hit to the body, especially with those body kicks. We talk about those long arms, but he also got a really long torso, and I think the mark is going to be there for Fiziev with those body kicks early. But we've seen Bahamondes, dog it out. He's very durable, especially up top. And if this fight gets into the later rounds, we've seen Fiziev kind of slow down in these third rounds, like against Bobby Green, like against Justin Gaethje. Like you mentioned, he's muscle compact. So at 155, like the same thing with body types. You could have the power early, you could have that fast twitch, but the later the fight goes, he seems to slow down, at least from what I've seen. Now, it's not a complete death gas because he did get a round 5 finish against Rafael Dos Anjos in a fight that was kind of back and forth, but obviously, this is a different fight here, and I'm leaning a little bit toward Fiziev. I haven't made a bet on it yet. I do think early I give him the advantage. I think he could even knock out Bahamondes maybe with a body kick or a head kick. And I think the later rounds I personally give to Bahamondes. Yeah, I do give him the grappling upside, but I don't see him actually shooting the shot. Like you said, it would have to be from a clinch or something. So I'm going to think about this some more. Obviously, I give the youth, the durability to Bahamondes. We've seen Fiziev hurt a few times, but I give the level of competition to Fiziev, of course. Really good fight overall, and I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, and what Mike's saying here, Fiziev went from being the new gen, being tested, to testing the new gen real quick, nature of the sport. And that's true, man. The time in the sport, a lot of times it doesn't last a long time. It's crazy because I remember Rafael in my head, he's an up-and-comer who's just about to take over the lightweight division. And now people are saying that, he's kind of a veteran, maybe washed, and now he's testing the up-and-comer. So that's a great point, bro. And thanks for the $5 donation. Czar,
my bad. I was going to say real quick, it's interesting that Duncan said that he struggles to make the weight, or he's heard that, because I don't know if you guys remember, I heard a rumor that he was considering going to 145.
Yeah.
Which is, interesting to me.
Said that himself, yeah.
Maybe I fought in London, and I can't remember if it was Gaethje was fighting in London, and a lot of people, I was listening to some nutritionists in the area, and I was just sitting having a coffee, and they were doing a bit of flapping. They were worried about him not making weight. So, he got it done. He made weight, but I heard he struggles a little bit. So that was the only reason why. That's insider information.
And that could be why he slows down the later of the fight,
Yeah. Zal, what do you reckon?
Yeah. I don't see how he could ever make 145. He's big, bro. He's thick.
Just because you hear it on social media doesn't mean it's going to happen. I said on social media I was going to go to 145 as well, and everybody was going crazy. I just did it for some clicks.
Nice. Sharp play. But yeah, I don't have a ton to say on this one. I think, Fiziev didn't really look the same in his last fight. I think he was, had some injuries. And he always kind of slowed down, but it would be after a ton of volume. And he did throw decent volume in that last fight, but it was less volume than usual, and he still slowed down. But yeah, Gaethje does that to people, so I think Gaethje would really hurt Bahamondes. So yeah, Fiziev, big speed advantage on the feet. Bahamondes, is a little hittable, so I could see him cracking him early, but you know, the later rounds might get sketchy. Definitely dogger pass here. Don't really want to lay chalk, but don't have any bets for this one yet. Still got to watch some more tape.
I like Rafael, man. I'm gonna go against the grain a bit. I just think his striking arsenal is too deep, and Ignacio's a good striker himself, man. But Rafael has been in there with tall guys, short guys, you know, medium guys, and I mean the way he hits to the body is elite, just like JB said. And like you said, man, Ignacio Bahamondes, he has his hands up a lot. The body is there to be hit on a 6'3" guy from a 5'8" fighter who already targets the body very heavily. So I really think, like in the early going, Bahamondes is going to have trouble reading Fiziev's speed, explosivity, and I think it honestly could be like a body-head combination, like he hit Moicano with, who's another tall, rangy fighter in the division. But man, it's true. He's coming off 3 losses, and we don't know. We don't know how he's going to respond to that, because that's a mental thing as well, right? You've lost 3 times, and like Chris said, you know, he's getting paid a lot, fighting at the top of the division. Now he has to fight an up-and-comer. Big step down. Maybe it's not as exciting. Who knows? I'm not in his head, but it's probably a negative, right? But I trust him to bounce back. I think he's a good professional. So we'll write Fiziev down for me.
I want to write that down too.
He's the underdog, bro. He's the underdog. So like, I don't understand how you can make him an underdog. I think that's I think
he's 50-50 at worst.
Yeah. So maybe write that down. I don't like anything else on this fight.
I think those sub 2-3 numbers could be an interesting look. Just
2-3 again, you might get burned when he subs.
Learn that lesson.
You're right.
So yeah, right.
You don't have to write it down. Just thought it was a good mention.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like round 1 is going to be super sketch for Bahamondes. I'm not going to lie.
So we'll move on. And Chris, I know it's getting late for you over in Miami, bro. So if you want to shoot off anytime, just let me know. We've loved having you on, regardless, my man. And thanks again.
Yeah, man. I'll do a couple more, maybe 1 or 2 more, and I'm not feeling tired yet. So it's actually good fun listening to your guys. You know, listening to kind of your take on it. Obviously, I'm a fighter. I make a different. I'm definitely feel like I'm making different decisions compared to you guys. Obviously, you analyze the fights from an outside perspective, which is quite interesting. So it's quite good to hear you guys and listen. I'm quite intrigued.
Nice, bro. Yeah, and it's good to have your input as well. You know, like I always say, it's interesting because we're not betting, right? Like we're speaking from a betting angle, right, which is completely different from an analytical angle. So if I sit down and break down the analytics, my breakdown is going to be completely different than when I'm speaking about the betting angle, because, for example, we've got a big underdog in Kamaru Usman last week. So I'm giving all the reasons why Kamaru Usman can win. But if I was sitting there and if the line was even, I'm going to give just as many reasons why Buckley can win, right? So it's always very different. And I tried to make that clear to like the viewers, because sometimes the viewers will be like, oh, wow, you're picking Usman, you're an idiot. I'm not saying I'm picking him. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I'm just making the case for him because he's a massive underdog. So, you know, our analytics are always based on the betting line, which can skew things a bit.
That's like a couple of my friends, when they seen the odds of my fight, one of my friends is really honest with me, and he says, I don't usually bet, but if I see a big underdog and I know you, like, why wouldn't I? Say, for instance, I put on the max bet. He said to me for my fight against OK, he put the max bet on Sky Bet, and it was £333, and he walked away with $2,000. And he was like,
"Wow,
why wouldn't I do that? Maybe it didn't work out, but it definitely did. So I made some good money on it."
Let's go.
Yeah, and the betting lines in MMA are fucking crazy, man. Like, every single week we have a Kamaru Usman plus 230. Like I said, Alonzo Menafield was, like, in the UK where we're from, it'll be 5-1. So Alonzo Menafield was 5-1 last week, and he won, clean 29-28 decision. It's just like every single week we get these crazy betting lines, and I think it's the best sport to bet on. It's the most tragic, because, as you know, one punch changes everything. So it can fuck you up. Your fighter's winning the entire fight, and you're like, I made the best bet, and then he gets knocked out. But at the same time, that's why we can make a lot of money from it as well.
Yeah, for sure. The risk to reward factor is higher,
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right, Curtis Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev, and like I was saying, one punch can change it all. Just look at Curtis Blaydes' fight against, anyone, right? Like, most of the time he's losing, it is from one punch. It's the heavyweight division, man. So that's really the epitome of one punch can change it all. Now, in this fight, I don't necessarily think it will be a one-punch KO. Curtis Blaydes is a good striker. He's very, very traditional, good boxing, 1-2, straight down the middle. There's not too many fat on his punches. He's pretty fast for a heavyweight as well. He's very well-rounded, right? He's a good wrestler, etc., etc. Good cardio. I mean, there's not too many bad things I can say about Curtis Blaydes, except for sometimes he just drops the ball. Sometimes he has a great performance, and then the next fight, his performances are not that good. He's a little bit inconsistent. Now, I got to cut him a slack. All of these finishes, like he's being knocked out by the best fighters in the division, right? Because a lot of people talk about Curtis Blaydes' chin. I can't say this guy has a bad chin. I mean, I've seen him take complete bombs from fighters. In the Francis Ngannou first fight, he didn't even get knocked down. It was a doctor stoppage. He didn't even get knocked down, and he took bombs from Francis Ngannou, right? The Tom Aspinall one, he got knocked down strange, but he was still conscious. And then you talk about Sergey Pavlovich as well. Again, still conscious in all of these fights. So
don't forget my guy Derek Lewis. He put him out cold.
Yeah, outside of the Derek Lewis one, he hasn't been put out cold, which is what I was just going to say. So, I mean, and then Derek Lewis, one of the hardest punchers in the division. So I don't think he's got a chin issue. I just feel like he got knocked out by the best fighters in the division, In this fight now, fuck, man. Like, again, this really comes down to the betting line, right? Because if someone put a gun to my head and said, I'm going to shoot you in the head if you don't pick the correct fighter, I'm probably going to choose Curtis Blaydes, but no one's got a gun to my head, and they're giving me plus 250 on Rizvan Kuniev. So I'm definitely going to take a bet on Rizvan Kuniev. This guy is a Dagestani coming in, making his UFC debut, who has decent wins against the likes of Henan Ferreira in PFL. I think he's got enough wrestling defense being over there in Dagestan, training, deep wrestling background. I think he's got enough wrestling defense to stop the takedowns from Curtis Blaydes. So then we're getting a striking fight, right? And make no mistake about it, Kuniev doesn't look like he has the best striking, but he has a deep, deep striking background, and he's been training striking from a kid. I'm talking 10 years old. He's in the biggest Sanders school in Russia, and he throws some wild strikes. I've seen him throw spinning kicks to the head at heavyweight. Right, so I feel like both of them are pretty even in terms of effectiveness of striking. Effectiveness of striking and striking arsenal is two completely different things. We could sit down and break down, he'd love to throw a 1-1-2 and he steps back with a 2. At the end of the day, man, striking effectiveness and striking arsenal are completely different things in MMA. I broke this down when I spoke about Topuria versus Oliveira earlier. Topuria has way less of a striking arsenal than Oliveira, but Topuria is way more effective with his arsenal, right? And I kind of feel like Kuniev has a deeper background. He can throw more strikes, but Curtis Blaydes arguably is a little bit more effective with his strikes. Great 1-2 down the middle. But I mean, look, man, I'll be short and sweet with this one now. I think Kuniev at plus 225 is ridiculous. I think Curtis Blaydes has dropped the ball enough times for me to bet against him here with a guy who's a little bit unknown. The market doesn't really know, who can match his size, match his height. And if we're getting a striking fight, I'm taking Kuniev all day at plus 240 because I feel like it's close to a 50-50 fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a takedown of his own. Jolton Almeida took this guy down 10 times. Yes, he's a good wrestler and he's hard to control, but he can be taken down. And that's not impossible for Kuniev to do that. So, yeah, I'm going to take Kuniev at a massive underdog price tag here. Chris, have you seen this guy fight before? Because he's never fought in the UFC, Kuniev. But what do you think about this one?
He fought in the Contender Series, didn't he? He's actually been in the dorms here. So I shared the dorms with him at some point. And I also seen that, is it Kuniev? I think his fight with Ferreira in the PFL being overturned due to steroids. Yeah. So he was taking performance-enhancing drugs. Yeah. So believe it or not, I think that could be a massive throwback. I know there was a bit of aggro with Kuniev through the Contender Series when he signed about obviously the drug testing and stuff like that. There was a lot of stuff online about obviously should he got in because he's known as a drug cheat, stuff like this. So being under the strict testing pool of USADA or whatever it is, drug-free sport now, could be a difficult one for him. Obviously relied on performance-enhancing drugs, and I think that's a kind of a mental thing. Somebody, wanting to take that for performance rather than just trusting within yourself. Where did he do his camp? Did he do his camp in Dagestan?
I'm not sure.
I saw someone in the chat saying he was at Tiger Muay Thai a little bit, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. So he's went. So believe it or not, from a UFC standpoint, for you to get guys from drug-free sport to go to Thailand, Dagestan, people are not just flying there. They can't employ people from there to do it. Whereas like they have people from the Olympics in Scotland, they have people in the US. That's why you see these fighters, they navigate more to the kind of areas where the testing pool can't come. Don't get me wrong, I have seen testing happen in Thailand. I've been there, I've trained there myself. But I just feel this could maybe sway it. This is kind of an inside perspective. Obviously, I don't like drug cheats as well, but maybe Curtis Blaydes is going to take it. I think he'll maybe put a pace on him, and maybe he'll break him mentally rather than physically. Just maybe because he's relying on these performance-enhancing drugs in the past.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But you know what? I actually think he's on it. I think he's back on the drugs. So the reason I say that is because if you look at his Contender Series fight, the guy's very, very flabby, right? Huge belly, is shaking all over the place at 250 pounds or whatever he weighed in at. And then if you look at the weigh-ins and the photos of his camp, he's shredded, bro. Like, I mean, for a heavyweight, he's got no belly fat on him. And I mean, okay, like at the end of the day, we don't know, right? Maybe he just trained harder, maybe just dieted harder. At the end of the day, there is a complete physical change from his Contender Series fight was when he popped right before that to his debut in the UFC. And people pop in the UFC all the time. So like people are still doing it in the UFC. So I honestly think he's probably back on the sauce, which obviously helps him. So yeah, I mean, well, who knows, right? But I think that's obviously a positive if you're betting on him.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, for sure. I don't think about it that way. Maybe if he just doesn't get caught, he's going to fucking win.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, like I said, people are still popping in the UFC all the time, man. So, like, I mean, being in the sport as well, like, people are doing drugs, like, especially, like you said, in these countries, which is harder to get to. And this fight's in Baku as well, which is in Azerbaijan, right? So I'm sure the drug testing is way more lenient around those areas than it is if you lived in America or England or somewhere like that. So, yeah, we'll see how he performs. But body-wise, he looks like he's had some good supplements and some good vegetables.
Secret sauce.
Yeah, he looks like he's on it, but we'll see. Zar, what do you think about this one, bro?
I'm looking at his Instagram right now. He's in Thailand having some fun, getting tan, looking slim, bro. He looks like he's on it. But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Like he obviously he blatantly got caught. So at least we know he is the type of person to take some drugs. Like it could be bad for the mentality. So that is a good point. But I agree. I think he's still taking something, dude. I don't know. But
it looks completely different.
Did you see the Ferreira fight that you were talking about, Chris? He looked like a different guy. He was kind of shredded in that fight, and then compared to his fights before that. So we'll see what he looks like on Saturday. But his Instagram, he's looking pretty slim. I don't get how you get past like minus 150, minus 175 Blaydes. Really, he's just not a guy I want to lay chalk on if I don't think the grappling is going to be easy. That's his bread and butter. He's not a bad striker, but he's effective in the striking because of the grappling threat, Yeah. So I still think like you said, gun to my head, I'd pick Blaydes, but to Chris's point, we talk about it from a gambling perspective, and that's interesting to hear. So we're going to obviously make the case for the side we think has value. We all know Blaydes is a good fighter, but I feel like Kuniev is a little underrated. His striking, I think he's got sneaky speed, sneaky power. He doesn't look like he's a fast guy, but he's got some pop. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a competitive striking, clinch type fight. I don't think grappling is gonna be easy for either guy. And I feel like Kuniev has slight finishing upside. I'm not saying he's some crazy finisher, but And I'm not saying Blaydes is easy to finish. To James' point, he's literally only lost to the best of the best, and then he got bonked by the knockout king, fucking Derek Lewis. So it happens. But all 5 losses are by finish. So yeah, I think it's like slight favorite Blaydes. So +2 something. I think it's pretty solid value. I saw Kuniev finish only. It was like +275. I took that pretty big. I feel like that should be +200 range max. And then obviously Kuniev money line. And then there's like this prop is like, I think if you like Blaydes, you go, Blaydes decision, you go overs. And if you like Kuniev, you just go Kuniev money line and whatever you like. But yeah, there's a prop. It was like Blaydes decision or Kuniev knockout, and it was pretty solid plus money. And I feel like that's closer to 50-50. Like it was like +125. So I put some on that little DGen one, but Kuniev and Kuniev finish only are what I like here.
Yeah, I like the clinch work for Kuniev as well. It's rare that you see people, get big reactions and knockouts in the clinch. If you remember, his Contender Series knockout was off a clinch situation. He needed him through an elbow over the top. So he's very good in the clinch, You don't really see that too often, especially up at heavyweight where he's throwing knees to the body, elbows in the head. Like it's pretty underutilized in MMA, especially for like damaging strikes. And Kuniev does that very well. I wouldn't be surprised if Kuniev wins minutes here just in the clinch, just because of his diversity of strikes in the clinch. Most people in MMA, they throw a knee to the body maybe, or a knee to the thigh, right? Kuniev's like knee into the thigh, body, even clinching you, bringing you down, kneeing you in the head. Very active in the clinch, good up elbows as well as elbows over the top. He brings the guard down and throws the elbow over the top like Lomachenko does with his punches in boxing. So, he's very diverse in the clinch as well. And I just think he can win minutes in every area of the fight. JB, what do you reckon, bro?
Yeah, I think this is a good fight. Let me know if my background noise is too much. There's like some fucking, I don't know. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like a snake.
Crazy. Yeah, that's what it sounds like, right? Bro, I don't know what it is, bro. But yeah, I think Blaydes probably going to be the winner here. Like, obviously, I think he could land the 1-2 up the middle, like James said. Keep that on the outside. Try to keep it a clean fight at boxing range. Even then, I think Kuniev live to hit him over the top. Mix in the clinch game. We could see Blaydes getting taken down like we saw in the Jalton Almeida fight, like we saw earlier in his career in the East fight as well. So, yeah, I think, wrestling upside for Kuniev. Curtis Blaydes could win the fight mixing in his wrestling too as well. I think he could, set up his the takedowns with his strikes. So, yeah, I think Blaydes is the rightful favorite here. But like my man Czar said, -150, range for Blaydes.
Yeah.
I like it.
I would line it about -150 or something like that. Yeah, 60% Blaydes. Right now, it's -300. It's fucking insane, in my opinion. And I think it's just because we don't know who Kuniev is, right? Like, no one knows who he is. He's an underdog because no one knows him, So we'll see. Maybe write down Kuniev for us, Czar, and then...
Yeah. He got a win on the Contender Series too versus a guy who wasn't the highest level. So people don't always rate that, especially nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. And it was a boring fight up until that one, and it was a clinch knockout. It was a bit weird. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
It wasn't a big stake.
People think if you have a big win on Contender Series, it's like the new thing. You have to fade them. You have to go against them. But it's subjective, and it depends on the line as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Which one?
All right, next one.
Yeah, please. Let's go, man.
Right, fellas, I'm gonna shoot. This is an exciting fight as well, but I'm going to shoot. I've got some jiu-jitsu to do in the morning, so this was fun. If you want me on next week, James, that'll be cool. Let me know. Happy to do it. It's quite a good time for me just before I head to my bed and stuff, so it's actually quite fun. So let's do this again next week. It's cool to get some insights, and maybe I'll put a sneaky bet on. Don't tell any of my friends, and don't tell Dana.
No.
I just hit me in a DM. We'll get something sorted, bro. I'm allowed to. No, cool. But man, thanks for coming on, bro. Have good training tomorrow. Looking forward to your fight. And brother, anytime you want to come on, we'll love to have you, bro. So yeah, thanks again, and I'll catch you shortly.
See you later, boys. Nice to meet you guys. I'll see you next week. Thank you.
You're the man.
Okay.
Bye bye.
That was the man, Chris Duncan. Bro, what a nice guy. He's a legend,
Yeah.
eh?
Dude, he's
Can I say
dope.
something real quick?
Please.
Yeah, that was cool as fuck, bro. That guy is fucking chill, you know. Just having him on the podcast, I felt like I was just kicking it with the boys, you know. So that was dope.
Yeah.
Chris, if you're still listening, appreciate you having you on. And man, James, good pickup for the guest this week, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool, man. And he said he wants to come on himself next week, which is pretty fucking dope. So, and you know what? He had good insight as well. I didn't know, to be honest. I don't know, like, which is the fights. Like, I don't really know, but I mean, I thought, you know, he could just come on and be like, I don't know who this is. I don't know who that is. Kuniev and stuff like that. But he's talking about Kuniev popping for steroids, wrestling and stuff. So he knows what he's talking about, which is always good, you know?
Yeah. Like he was part of the combo. Like he was tuned in. That was so dope.
Yeah, man. So the next one, Tafik Mousasi versus Miktabek Orolbai. I'm going to go Piss Boys, but I'm going to listen because I really want to hear a breakdown for this fight because this is a banger. So I'm going to leave this shit open while I go to the toilet. Please let me know what's happening.
Who me first?
Yeah,
I'll go first,
I don't have a crazy take here.
Really, bro? I don't either, but man, I will say what I like about Orolbai is like he is one of these grapplers that I really tend to like. You know, he obviously had a lot of success against Medic, was able to get the sub via neck crank in the second round. I just like the way he mixes the ground and pound, the way every time you try to build up a base, he's just breaking you down. He's very smart with his position. He gets to those wrist rides, and, you know, we saw him get a sub, but this guy loves his ground and pound, man. He's really good with it if he can get to these positions. Now, Mousasi on the other end, obviously, I think he's an amazing striker. Big power, hasn't fought in the UFC yet, so I think he could be going a little bit under the radar in this fight. Personally, man, I kind of think that if Mousasi stuffs the takedowns, he's going to have success here. Orolbai is going to have to, you know, get him to the ground. Do I think Orolbai could compete on the feet? Yeah, for periods of time, but he's going to have to mix in the grappling here. And like I said, I do really like his style on top, but on the feet, it's going to be dangerous for him. And Mousasi, you know, we've seen in fights before, it's not like he has the worst takedown defense by any means. So, yeah, slight reach advantage for Orolbai, but I don't know if it's going to necessarily matter striking-wise. So, yeah, I'll lean Orolbai slightly, but I think the line maybe is close to accurate. But I understand a shot on the Mousasi side. Just his age, you know, I believe he's on a little bit of a layoff. So these are some things that do worry me. Whereas Orolbai has been fighting, you know, he did take some damage in the last fight, but he showed a lot of fucking heart. And the guy showed that he could take a pretty good beating. So, yeah, if he doesn't get knocked out here, I do think he probably gets the wrestling going. And like I said, once he's on top, I really like the way he goes for those wrist rides, breaks his opponents down. I think he's high IQ down there. Could be a little bit of a Neanderthal sometimes. So, yeah, I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say on it. Maybe I'll just say the line's close to accurate.
Yeah,
and I'll be right back, bro. I actually also have to use the restroom. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, man. It's a very good fight. You know, probably the best fight on the card. You know, probably the best fight on the card, or at least the fight I'm most. Yeah, like at least the fight I'm most looking forward to. I mean, you could argue Hill and Rountree is like higher level. I don't really know, but like, yeah, I'm most looking forward to this fight for sure. I ended up siding with Orolbai. I want to take the shot on Tafik because he's very, very in. How can I say it? Like, it's a cool play, right? Like, if you win the bet, you feel like the man, you know, because like fading Orolbai and winning at plus money against a newbie who no one knows, who if he wins, he's probably going to look good because he's probably going to land some clean counters, really good striking on the feet, could even get a knockout. I mean, it's probably most likely his win condition a knockout. Yeah. So it's like a cool one, you know, like Mousasi, striker. But I ended up going with Orolbai just because he's just way more proven to me. And I think that his style is just harder to beat. You know, at the end of the day, Tafik seems very, very athletic and strong for about 7.5 minutes. And then I've seen him visibly slow down in fights. Even if you go back to his fight against Patricky, you know, that was pretty obvious and he got held down on bottom. But, you know, he got up very quickly. To be honest, there's not a lot of tape on this guy defending takedowns consistently or even on bottom. It basically doesn't exist. There's about 3 or 4 times where a takedown got shot on him on his entire career, right? And then like 3 or 4 fights. And then out of those fights, like one of them, he just defended him once and knocked the guy out, right? Like pretty soon after. And then another one was like the Patricky fight, where it's a long time ago. And like, yeah, he got back up to his feet kind of quick though. And he was also wrestling himself. So it was weird. It wasn't like only defending, you know, he was also offensively grappling. So it's a bit of a different dynamic than when you're just trying to stop the takedowns, because you're kind of engaging in the wrestling as well a little bit. So you can't fully understand their takedown defense. So basically, it's just not really enough tape on Mousasi to be confident in him. So it's like an upside play, right? It's a plus 160. It's like plus 150. Maybe he'll knock him out. I think Orolbai is going to... Like, Orolbai has elite durability, man. I mean, Rebecki hurt him, right? But like, he took bombs from Rebecki. He should have been knocked out, really. Who else hurt him? Medic cracked him. Didn't hurt him at all, though. Like, the guys... like crazy. It sounded like gunshots. There were legit gunshots that Medic caught him with. You know, I watched that the other day, and the sound of those shots were like, what the fuck? It's like
the elbow, dude.
Like he's shooting him in the head, you know, and obviously, you know, he just easily basically just walked through it, right? And ended up getting a submission in round 2. So it's tough for me to say Tafik's going to knock him out, right? Just because of the durability he's shown. It's not tough for me to say Mousasi's going to hurt him, though, because Mousasi's very sharp with his shots, and Orolbai literally has no defense, you know, no head defense. He just takes shots, which is not a good style to have against Mousasi. But coupled with the durability, the wrestling, the cardio, it's just a tough ask for Mousasi. If he doesn't knock him out, he's probably going to get worked in rounds 2 and round 3, even finish late. You know, Orolbai's submission round 2, 3 could be a play for me here. I don't know the lines. He was going to say that one. Yeah. It's kind of obvious, like, in terms of the dynamic of the fight. So I'd like to know the lines for that as an upside play. So I'm going to pick Orolbai. I'm going to say Orolbai submits him round 3, but I'm not confident, and I'm not playing Orolbai money line at all.
Yeah. Dude, I just got to be careful with this fight because, shout out Jork, bro. He's going crazy.
Dude, crazy man. Crazy man. Appreciate you, Judo.
Yeah. I would be careful
playing the sub, though. I mean, I know you didn't say you were like playing it outright, because like I was saying, the guy he has nasty ground and pound. That's all I'm gonna say. So like, people out there that are trying to get tricky with the sub prop, you know, maybe you want to play your 2-3s, or you want to play your, you know, just keep in mind that he could wrist ride ground and pound. We've seen it before.
Yeah. I don't know. I gotta be careful with this one just because I'm like a big Orolbai fan. Like I don't know, like me amongst my friends, like he was just like a meme right when he got signed before the Medic fight. I was like, I've seen him in LFA, whatever, but my friends were like, bro, who is this guy? He looks sick. And then what he did against Medic, dude, just like Iron Man eating nukes and just fucking ran him over. It was dope. So yeah, I'm a big Orolbai fan, and like this guy, I don't know how to say his username in the chat, but he's calling him Orolbai, like Aura. I don't know. I think he's dope, and he trains like half an hour from where I live. So, like, I'm a big Orolbai fan. I want to be careful, but yeah, just because he survived that Rebecki fight, it's not like it's impossible for him to get knocked out. Like, if you're getting hurt like that, it's not going to last forever, bro. Especially Mousasi's like clean and super athletic. He could get caught, and it's going to be really sad. But if he doesn't, he's going to cook him, and I'm going to be hyped. I need to watch more tape on this one. Like you said, I was trying to look for like some grappling tape. Like it's just a tough read. So I don't really want to lay chalk on my boy, especially if I think there's some bias in it. But that sub 2-3 prop, I found a plus 1,000. I think I like that.
Wow. For both 2 and 3 combined, that's really good, I reckon.
Just like both rounds, no method?
No, sub.
Oh, okay.
That would be crazy if it was just straight up 2-3. Whew.
What's the number?
Plus 1,000 on 2-3. Oh shoot! I think it's 700.
Okay, yeah, I think it's sub 2, but like I said, like I would just want to cover my outs because of the ground and pound.
Round 3, 1,600. Round 2, 1,200. I was looking at the wrong number. This is on Bovada, by the way, so you could find better on FanDuel maybe later. But I don't hate those.
Yeah,
no, not at all.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And like you said, bro, just because he survived Rebecca doesn't mean he can't get knocked out. I mean, at the end of the day, anyone who watched that Rebecca fight and thinks Orolbai can't get knocked out is kind of stupid because he was hurt and he got dropped. It was a left hand in round 3, I believe, and the guy just sat back down. And someone put in the comments here, and it's like it's crazy that he ended up getting back up to his feet and almost winning the round.
Dude, yeah, he fell in slow-mo, bro, and we damn near won the round.
Yeah, he got back up to his feet after being pounded bad and then ended up mounting Rebecca. Obviously, he won the rest of the round. Sorry, you didn't say, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, he definitely lost that round. But he ended up getting mount on Rebecca later in the round that he got dropped, which is crazy. And his eye was done. But, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, Tafiq is way cleaner than Rebecca and hits just as hard, but just way sharper, which, you know, you can have less power, but be more sharp and knock out more people. So it's definitely a dangerous fight, but I think Orolbai will maybe cook him. JB? Oh, you've already gone.
I went on this one, bro. Dude, Czar, if you can, bro, pull up the picture of him spitting out water. You know what I'm talking about?
Oral.
See if we can find it. See if we can.
Yeah,
find
I know you're talking about, like, in between rounds.
Dude, you gotta know this photo, bro. Just because, like, how could you not love this guy?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just hope I can find it.
All right, bro. If you can't, it's no worries. I'm sorry, guys. You know, JB, he just has to go off on his rants, and that shit is hilarious.
Bro, I don't think I know what you're talking about.
I think if you see it, you'll remember. He's like hella fucked up, like spitting out water, and he looks like he's
like this, dude.
Yeah, I can't find it.
You Nick Beck spit water.
You know what? I'll look for it. You know, while we're breaking down the next fight.
Okay. Yeah, no worries, bro. Yeah.
Do we want anything written down on this one?
Bro, you know what's gonna be a mad fight? Rebecca versus Duncan, bro.
Bro, I'm so hyped. Give me a big price on Duncan, bro.
Please.
He will. Yeah, we have to bet on him now. We can't.
The books constantly underrate the guy, kind of like he said. They really do, though. He won.
Yeah,
all the time, 140 versus Schmooze.
All the time. Yeah, every time they underrate. I bet him against you, and that was an easy one. I know you broke down, but still.
Yeah, no, facts. But he got the win. Bro, you know what? I pull up in the whip, bumping Dipset. Your girl give me oral. Then I say bye, like Mick Beck.
Wow.
Let's light up the pack, bro.
Is that you?
Yeah. I'm just chilling, you know, spitting some bars.
Wow, bro.
So anything, I think that sub straight up's 400. It's pretty close to KO. Damn. I mean, it makes sense.
I literally, like, I know sub makes sense, bro, but I just have a gut feeling, like, if you play the sub, like, I get fucked like that sometimes. Like, I played Vanderford 2-3 and then the 2-3 sub. I was like, dude, he fucking ground and pounds him, you know?
Yeah, I just feel like this one, like, I feel like they're onto the KO on this one because, like, you know, Mousasi's been subbed a bunch of times, so I feel like it'd be like way more towards the sub, but it's pretty 50-50. I don't know. I'll have to watch some more.
Because Mick Beck, like, the way he just goes for the ground and pound. Like, he'll take whatever he gets. But, you know, guys are getting sharper nowadays at not giving up the back completely. So they stay in that, like, mid-range. And Mick Beck will just beat the fucking piss out of you right there. You know?
What's just ITD? Oh, that's not very.
Not great. But, like, dude, if you like the sub, like, I'm just making a case that, like, I still give him some KO equity because he has more KOs, I believe, than he does subs.
Yeah, he does. I think.
By the way,
go ahead.
Sorry, this is. I just wanted to say it out loud so I remember it. I'm sorry, this is off topic, but we should clip up some of Chris Duncan's interview we did with him and put it on Instagram.
Bro, 100%. Me asking that fighter a question, like, I'm gonna save that for myself, bro.
Yeah, we'll get that clipped up.
I would love to. I'd love to get some more fighters on here too, if possible. Like, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's fighters that want this as well, so we can definitely. We got the reach now, boys. You know, we're going to the moon. This show's going to the moon. Parlay Madness. We got 587 live viewers right now. The people know to tune in because we give the people gems every single week. We got like coming up to 400. Remember when we were saying, can we get 4 more Instagram followers so we can hit 200? We're damn near at 400 now, boys. So, you know. We're growing fast. Everyone's growing. We're doing the collabs on Instagram, me, you, me, JB, and the page Parlay Madness, and that's making us go big. I remember we had 14,000 views on one of our Holland fucking shorts.
Bro, no, that one popped because you guys called it like to a T, bro.
Yeah, perfect. So we're popping off, and the edits are epic, bro. So you're taking care of the epic, the edit.
Thank you.
Look epic, and no, it's all good, bro. We're growing. So shout out to everyone in the chat. I appreciate everyone helping us grow. At the end of the day, if you weren't here, we wouldn't be growing. So we're going to do our best, as we always do every week, to give you as much pack as possible.
Yeah. Thanks to you guys. Yeah. I wrote down ITD. I feel like that's not a bad number. Like Mousasi usually loses by finish. I think he only has one like decision loss, and then Orolbai is a finisher. We know that. And I feel like there's going to be a big cardio gap later in the fight. Maybe I should play the under. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought about the under. I thought it was a good one, but again, I really think the bookies are onto it with this fight. So I don't know whether I'll try and force a play just because it's a really good fight and I could see it, and I feel I don't know. I have to have a solid edge, and I'm not sure I do. One thing I did want to mention, though, like on record, is that I think Orolbai can hurt Taufeeq on the feet, and I think he can drop him on the feet. I really think that's possible because Orolbai is a pretty good striker, man. Like, he's a pretty good striker himself, bro. Like, yeah, his defensives are not good, but offensively, bro, he was cracking Rebecca with KO blows. And Rebecca, mad Polish head, like Chris said, he didn't get knocked down, but he got hurt as well. He still hurt Rebecca a couple of times, wobbled him and stuff. So he's got a good striking, bro. Like, good high guard, solid 1-2, pretty sharp down the middle, turns over his shots, his shoulder. Like, they're pretty good technique on his shots, and he's very aggressive, right? And he puts a lot into his shots. Just defensively, he's not that good. So I think he can knock down Taufeeq and hurt him on the feet.
Bro,
and he mixes in the wrestling so well that it just opens up his hands, and then vice versa.
Dude, yeah. I don't know. He's got power, bro. Like that one, he's simple, not a ton of defense, but bro, that clean two, bro, like every time he touched Brenner, he was doing the chicken dance. And like, I know he hadn't been knocked out. He got knocked out after that fight, but bro, he was hitting him hard.
Up until the third round, right? Like, it took a long time for Joel to finish him. And Orolbai could have finished him in that fight.
Bro, yeah. And like, he looked gassed, but he just like, it's funny. Like, he looks funny. So like, it just seems like he doesn't give a fuck, his face, even though he's like hella gassed in a war, and he somehow just like figured it out in the Brenner fight.
Yeah, bro. Rude One saying he's smoking a cannon right now. All that pack is mixed into a jungle dub. Let's go, dude.
Nice.
Cheers, JB.
Yo, love to hear it, man. Rude One been supported for a good minute, so appreciate all of you. Definitely Rude One. Anyone out there smoking the pack, bro. I actually just started up. I know, shameless plug, but I started up the pack squad. You could come over to my page, join the community. We starting up the pack squad. Come over here. We're gonna smoke the bookies like some pack. And every week, 8:30 Thursday, Parlay Madness, you're gonna be here, and we're gonna give you the pack here as well. Bang.
Bang. So next fight, Nazim Sadykhov, Nicholas Motta. Yeah, tough fight for me because I feel like that there's value on Nicholas Motta's money line, but how can I play him against someone with the KO threat and the ability to find his shots like Nazim Sadykhov? Because he finds his shots on everyone he fights, whether he knocks them out or not. He finds his shots pretty well. And Nicholas Motta is hella chinny, and he's been knocked out multiple times. So it's just tough for me to, pick against Nazim Sadykhov in this spot. The durability advantage is massive. And on top of that, I've seen Nicholas Motta ragdolled by Trey Ogden, submitted, and then, the fight was called a no context, which is ridiculous. But Nazim Sadykhov, he looks like he's got decent grappling himself. I know he don't go to it a lot, but if you watch a couple of his fights he did against Slava Borshev, where I bet on Slava, Nazim Sadykhov shot multiple times in that fight, right? If he shoots that amount of times here, then I feel like he wins the fight. He could probably dominate and even get a submission on the ground. If you go back and look at the Terrence McKinney fight, what happened in that one? So Nazim Sadykhov knows what he's doing on the ground, and I think that's a viable path to victory. And on the feet, you also have to favor him. It's just the guy can let minutes run away from him because sometimes he doesn't do enough. Sometimes he admires his work a little bit too much. Also, Nicholas Motta hits very fucking hard, and Nazim does get cracked, so I could see Nicholas Motta hurting him on the feet. And Nicholas Motta, in my opinion, maybe looked a little bit improved in his last fight. You could say that Mahashate is actually just overrated and he's just not a very good fighter, which, to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with. But I would also give some credit for Motta in the fight that he was meant to get knocked out in, and he looked pretty clean in that fight, So, yeah, I mean, and he got hurt in that. I mean, he got cracked in that fight, right? It's not like, I don't think this guy's got the worst paper chin of all time every single time, because he did get cracked by Mahashate, who has strong, power himself. Before that fight, he was known as like this power puncher who was definitely going to knock him out. So I don't know, bro. I feel like Nicholas Motta got hurt in that fight, got wobbled, and still won the fight cleanly and was able to kind of ride it out. Stayed calm under pressure. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think Nicholas Motta is going to look value for the entire fight. It's just, is he going to get finished or not? Because if he doesn't get finished, I think he could win the fight. I really, really do. So that's my take, bro. Like, please, boys, let me know what you think about this fight, because someone could convince me to put a unit and a half on Nicholas Motta like I did last week with Court McGee and Alonzo Menafield. Like, someone could convince me to do that. So I don't know what you guys think, though. JB, like, what do you think, bro?
I think it's a solid bet, bro. I think he could win a decision here. I think he could win via KO here. We've seen Nazim hurt multiple times. Nazim's coming off of a huge KO win also, where he looked, good. So I think I'm just getting attacked out here. Bro, terrible. I think Nazim has some grappling upside. He's not the best offensive wrestler, but we've seen Motta outed on the mat multiple times. He kind of looks like a little bit lost down there, no offense, but I do think Nazim's live to submit him on the mat. I give him that upside as well. On the feet, though, where I think this fight could mainly play out, Motta's got Chris Boxing. He works with good people at Extreme Couture. I believe he works with Jason Manley. I remember him, if I remember correctly, he trains with Mads Burnell as well. So, if he could defend the takedowns, that's if Nazim shoots. I think his boxing's clean here. Nazim, I give the kicking upside too. There could be some hometown cooking as well, but maybe that's factored into the line. Just because he's Azerbaijani or however you say it, that's something like I would think about. Considering, shout out your man Cody, but Safdie, but he mentioned this earlier this week. It's like one of the most corrupt countries out of all the countries in the world. So if that's true, man, there could be some real sketchy judging here. And if this fight does wind up going the distance, which not a lot of people are expecting it to, and I think for that, that's because Motta's big power. They think his only path is like a KO. And on the other side, you got Nazim, who people are thinking like he's this huge, big power puncher. I don't know if that's the case. Like, he's got pop, but he's usually a pace guy, finish you later. Like, most of his finishes are round 3. So I think this one could wind up going over. It's definitely risky, but the other thing is with chins too, like Motta, he's chinny, you could say, but chins are subjective, man. They come and go. So you could be looking like you don't have a chin in one fight. And, there's a lot of guys like that out there. So, yeah, I think this fight's interesting. I think the dog is live. Points interest me as well.
Yeah, Zal?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think you can be like minus 450, like mostly based off just like finishing upside. Like, we know Nazim has a great chin. We know Motta's chin isn't the best. And that's like the biggest difference I see in this fight. I think the minutes will be close. I feel like Motta will have big moments, but I feel like he's eventually just going to get hurt. But that doesn't mean he's not value. So I don't know. I definitely like the Motta decision look just because, he's a hard hitter, but bro, Nazim eats nukes, and he's like rarely even been hurt. Like, I think Elder like dropped him, but like he wasn't really like hurt, So I could see Motta decision. Obviously, Nazim knockout is by far the most likely outcome. And the odds aren't even like terrible. I still like this is like plus 130 or 125. I don't know. It's not dog shit. But I think this is like a minus 300s, minus 350 type spot max. Just because I don't think the skills are like that big of a difference. Like, I think Motta can land big shots, have big moments. I think it's going to be close. And Sadykhov is just a big favorite based off finishing upside. And then I don't think it should be that wide.
Yeah, it's true. Sadykhov, you know, his run, I don't think it's been that good, bro. Like, he got beat up in a Slava fight for 10 minutes, landed a KO blow there.
Which is a bad look now because Slava's kind of slowed down.
Yeah, and it was kind of easy for Slava.
He was fucking him up.
Outside of round 2, yeah. I mean, if that was anyone else, Slava gets a knockout there. You know, the amount of shots he took. So,
dude, and the body shots too. Like, Nazim is made out of something crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we like Motta for value. It's tough to actually say it's tough to be that confident, but I wasn't confident in Alonzo Menafield at all. You know, so
yeah. And I think Menafield was like clear value though. Like, obviously we weren't picking him to win, but this, it's like I think it's value, but I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was clear value as well, but I would say that I was giving him about the same amount of chance to win the fight than I am giving Nicholas Motta. It's just that Menafield was like a much bigger underdog.
Yeah,
I would say. Like, I don't think, because I didn't think Menafield would win. Like, I don't know how much I was capping him to win the fight. Maybe like 30%, which I guess I'm giving Motta about 30 or some shit.
Yeah, and that's a big edge. It's just, I feel like, I don't know, you don't bet every time, you know, you're coming up with implied probabilities, but it's not, you're like, I'm super confident in these. We're just kind of guessing.
That's the biggest thing, because people always ask me, what do you cap him? I'm like, I don't really know, to be honest, bro. Like, all right, I'm going to give you a number because, like, you know, it's around the ball range. You know what I mean? It might be 30, but it just depends on your read on the fight. How confident are you in your implied probability? I'm not that confident in 30. Like, you know, if it turns out that he doesn't have a chin, which he probably doesn't, but like someone in the comments said, sometimes he does show up with a chin. In my Shati fight, he showed up with a pretty good chin because he got clocked multiple times there. So if he doesn't show up with a chin, though, he's probably got like a 10-15% chance of winning. He really does, you know. But like, if he shows up with a chin, could be fucking 40% of shit. So it's like, it's a risky one, but I think 1 unit or 1.5 units is fair.
Yeah, because you could think of it as like a range. Like, if he doesn't have a chin, 20%, and if his chin looks all right, it's 40%. It's like 20 to 40, settle on 30, you know?
Somewhere around there. But it's always hard given the implied probabilities at the end of the day, man. Sometimes I'm very confident this guy's 80% to win, but, you know, most of the time it's just like, I think so, let's have a poke.
Yep. I don't know. I think I might play it like high 300s for like a fight that the minutes I think are going to be close. I think I just like, I don't know. If Motta wins, I'm going to be fucking pissed, bro.
I think you could get a crazy line close to fight time on this, bro. I don't think the market is high on Motta whatsoever.
Yeah, that's why I haven't played it yet. Like, I think I can get a 400 later in the week.
It was 350 though, and now he's 330.
Oh, really?
But that's, you know how much money comes in at the end, especially parlays.
Yeah, we'll see.
Then liabilities, you know, change up. I think you could get a good line on Motta.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, went 585. I got Menafield 585 last week.
Right, yeah. Dude, I caught it on like one of these exchanges. I caught a 625, and it like brought my average up, bro. Wow. Such a great price.
He's live. He was live plus 300 after like round 2.
I don't know how. That was a clear round 1.
It was crazy.
And wow, because he lost round 2. They just because he lost round 2.
It might have been after. Yeah. No, it was after round 2. I'm remembering it correctly.
No, that makes sense. Because like, I don't know, the big favorite, if it's 1-1 going into round 3, like they're going to be a solid favorite if you're, you know, closed minus 900. But dude, yeah, that fight was just.
It was arguably 2-0 to Zoe. Did he win 30-27? Did he won him?
No, 29-28 unanimous.
But it was arguable though.
No, he lost round 2, but nothing happened. He just held him for 5 minutes up against the cage like that.
Yeah, no strike. So it's like, okay, he didn't do anything, but like Alonzo didn't do anything either. So.
And he got held. But I can't believe the ref didn't break that up. I was like,
bro,
you know, the ref warned him 4 times and he never broke it up. I hate when they do that. You can't
why even warn him?
times.
He
What
bet
is
the over.
What is a yeah, maybe.
Bet on Umar.
He
Dude,
bet the
Umar
over.
looks huge, bro. He's like 6'4", like giant back, 80
Bro.
fucking 5-inch reach. How does he make 205, bro?
He's gonna be a good prospect, I think. I know he didn't look great in that fight, but
He'll figure it out.
He made it look small, bro.
Dude, that was crazy. Yeah.
Crazy. I've never seen Alonso look small before.
Nah, not at all.
New breed.
This is a banger.
We got Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. You know, every week, boys, and you might be wondering why haven't you put that out? Because people always DM me, where's your free favorite? Where's your free favorites? Where's your free favorites? Where's your free underdogs?
Yeah.
Boys, please, man, let me just give me some time. I'm busy. I'll record it, I promise. But like, fuck, all these DMs, free underdogs, free favorites. And they don't even ask nicely. You know, they don't even ask nicely.
Where's that, bro?
They ask me, yo, where's your free underdog picks this week? Full stop. I'm like, oh, you cheeky bastard. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, be fucking respectful. At least say, bro, like, your free underdog picks did well. Like, are you going to put them out this week? Yo, you putting the free underdog picks out or not? Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah. Hey.
And this week, I didn't do my top 3 favorites. And the reason is because there is no top 3 favorites. Like, I look through the entire card. I don't know what favorites to put on. The only one I considered was Tagir Ulanbekov. And even that price is arguably wide. It's like, I can't find a top 3 favorite. So, segue into this fight. Convince me on Grad, because you can convince me on any fucking underdog this week. Look, Naimov, yeah, is going to wrestle the fuck out of Bogdan Grad, right? I'm pretty sure that he's going to take him down. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be faster on the feet early. I'm pretty sure that he's going to win the fight. I just think this guy might die in round 3 like he did against Felipe Luma, who's in a weight class below him. I just feel like Bogdan Grad, he looks like Lex Luthor. He's just going to keep coming forward. And I don't know, bro. Like, he's the type of underdog you want to bet on because he's going to he's not that good, but like, fuck, bro. He does not give up. He's got great cardio, great determination, great grit, pretty decent hips, pretty decent, not hips, like to get back up to his feet. I feel like he's very, very, what's the word? Very active. You know, he's never going to stop moving. And that's the type of fighter who maybe you might gas out Naimov with, because Naimov has shown a tendency to slow down, make mistakes as the fight goes on. So, yeah, I don't know, boys. Like, I don't really have a breakdown on this one, but can someone convince me again? Because a unit and a half or some shit. Zar, what do you reckon?
I don't have a great read on this one. Like, the line blew out. I was thinking, like, I was talking to one of my friends, like, Naimov around the 200 range was like, all right, but not anymore. It's like, I think it's close to 300 now, and I'm not interested at all. I did put a little bit on Naimov, like knockout around the 300 range, just because Grad's like, you know, he's like you said, he's a madman. He gets hit. But yeah, it could get sketchy late, so that's why I don't want to lay chalk on Naimov. But I don't have a good read on this one, so I'm not sorry I couldn't convince you.
JB?
Yeah, I think Naimov, rightful favorite. Good power. Grad hittable. You know, he's got negative striking differential. But if you look at Naimov, I believe Naimov may also have a negative striking differential. And the difference is, can we bring up these stats here, or do they not have them on this website?
I can pull them up on a different tab real quick.
Yeah, UFC stats. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Hey, is my background noise okay? Because it's annoying me. But if y'all can't hear it, then we're good.
Let's see. It's not terrible for me. I don't know. Yeah, negative.
Yeah, both guys negative striking differential. The difference is my man Naimov lands 2.94 strikes landed per minute. That is not good, guys. And his takedown accuracy, you know, he lands takedowns, but is he really controlling guys? 36% takedown accuracy. Not the greatest takedown defense either. It's who's to say Grad doesn't shoot a takedown. He shot like 7 against Asshole, was able to secure 5. Believe he's a brown belt or a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Yeah, so 44% striking. Can you go back to it? Sorry about that. No, it's okay. I just had a few more points to make. You know, he's not really good at striking accuracy is 41%. That's not a good number in my opinion. That's below average. 44% striking defense, not really the greatest numbers either, especially when you got the negative differential. So now let's go over to Grad. And let's look at some things on his end, if you don't mind.
It's gonna be just like a one. Oh no, he's got a holy volume.
Yeah. So
he's
dude, but dude, that's cool. The difference is both of them have a negative striking differential. The difference is my man Bogdan Grad actually throws some fucking punches out there.
Yeah, 6 is crazy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, can Naimov hurt him, bonk him? I think it's very possible. He got hurt by Tom Nolan, knocked out. That was at 155, though. This is back at 145, where he's looked good since. So, this is going to be an interesting fight. And I think Grad, explosive, he could hurt Naimov. He's got more like knockouts with stuff like flying knees, kicks, stuff like that. But he can hurt people with the hands. As well, I know has a great chin. We saw it recently. So, yeah, man, I think Grad could hurt him on the feet, and I do think he's live for the guillotine as well. Look, he's hitting a couple times on the regional scene, and I think Naimov... What's up?
Against Balaji Oki, he hit it.
Really?
No.
Way back in the day.
No. Did you see the guy he fought? You know the guy?
Oh, he looks like him. Yeah.
He looks exactly like Balaji Oki, the guy who he hit it on before one of his regional fights. What is it?
I was like, how did I miss that?
No, it definitely happened.
Calano Batista. Yeah, Batista. That guy looks like... I thought that guy looked like Oki when I watched it. And then he got caught in the guillotine, which is what happened to Oki as well.
Fuck my guy, Chris Duncan.
Dude,
yeah, why not though? I mean, it's plus 1,600. I think it's worth a shot. Round 2 is plus 1,200. What's up?
Submission is 1,600.
Yeah, plus 1,600 on FanDuel Sportsbook.
What the hell?
Plus 1,400 on some other.
That's me.
Especially because we just saw this.
I might place this live on the stream.
Hey, look. So I think,
Bro, he spams it. Every time someone goes for a takedown, he spams the guillotine every single time. He also goes like high elbow, so he'll try and just wrap up any type of front choke. If he's not very good at that, because usually what happens is people just put their head under his armpit, take him down to the mat. But then he'll go underneath their arm and connect like traditional guillotine arm in. So the guy knows multiple front chokes, multiple variations of it. And I'm pretty sure Naimov is going to wrestle this guy because Grad is a motherfucker on the feet and he's an annoying motherfucker. And I'm almost certain Naimov's going to wrestle him. The guillotine is right there. I've seen Naimov tapped out before. I think he's got a good squeeze Grad. I mean, we've seen the shape of him, just even body-wise. Like, he's a strong motherfucker. That's a play for me, 1,600, man.
Bro, yeah. I didn't even look at the props on this one because I didn't have a good read.
Because I got you. I got you guys. That's why Jewish Betters here, live on the stream. Everybody watching, we giving out these plays, baby. I like it, man. Like, look, at the end of the day, he's got subs on record. Like I said, BJJ brown belt. We see the grappling going on in this fight, and I think Grad can maybe get it. Now, if I'm going to play that, I'm going to play the money line too. And I also think he could knock out Naimov on the feet. So I'll play the 2-3 as well, or the ITD, some type of, I'll bet, a decent amount on the sub. I'll figure out a way to play it, but that's how I'm approaching it.
Dude, yeah. You might convince me. Grad's a dog, bro. Like, I might just end up taking him, bro.
How can you have plus 4,900 on round 2 sub and plus 5,000 on round 3 sub here?
No, the same price as they gave us for Felipe Lima, and that cashed, boys. That one cashed.
Dude, we might have to run it back.
Not run it back. If it loses, it loses, bro. Like,
bro, that's got to be more than a 2% outcome.
Oh, nice. I think this guy right here just made a good shout out. If this is true, plus 2,200. Yeah, good call.
The sub, bro. That's I need a mover to get on BetMGM fucking right now.
I got an account, but I can't use it where I'm at.
Bro,
I would have bet it.
Grad's got good jiu-jitsu, bro. Like, yes, he can be taken down. He doesn't have good wrestling, but he's got good jiu-jitsu. Like I said, spams the guillotine, spams the front chokes. I've seen him reverse people before as well. It's not like he's, because some of these fighters, they got the submissions, but they can't get back up. But I think Grad can get back up. I've seen him reverse multiple people. He's good at putting the butterflies in and kicking over. And because he's so strong, the butterflies work more often than, maybe not. And I've also seen him throw up triangle chokes from his back. Like, all of these submissions I've seen him hit, most of them are from his back because he's getting taken down a lot. And I think Naimov's going to wrestle. Like, look, I'm not saying the 1,600 is a lock. I'm just saying that that's a crazy
Definitely
price.
not. But it's exactly. And if you get put in a guillotine, sometimes you just like, especially if it's the end of the round, like what fight was it? Christian Rodriguez versus Julian Erosa. With these guillotine guys, you know, Christian went for the finish. He went hard. Then at the end of the round, he shot himself into a guillotine, and it kind of seemed like a panic tap, but he was out of gas, and Julian just made a nice adjustment on it. I could see, you know, him putting himself in not the deepest guillotine, but him just being tired, and Bogdan Grad making the adjustment and finishing it like straight up. I think that's his likely path with the submission, like the guillotine. Like those other subs are just a plus, and if he hurts him, he could club and sub him, bro.
Yeah, or take his back in round 3 like Lima did or something. It's not impossible. You know, the guy's a dog. And, what you know, obviously one thing you said is super important. If we play a sub, we have to play his money line because sub is like a long shot. But money line is a chance there. You know, we're talking about the wrestling, right? Shooting into a guillotine. You know what else I think he could shoot into? He could shoot into a flying knee. Because I've seen Grad get a flying knee knockout on the regionals before. And that's right there. The flying knee is right there. And Naimov is going to be shooting, and Grad's got it before, and he could go back to it. And
I don't hate, dude. Yeah, like, I don't know. Naimov, like, even against Ofli, I feel like he proved, like, he can't be a giant favorite. I don't know.
No, when has he ever proved that?
Yeah.
I'm betting on
like plus 300 against Malarkey to, like, now he's chalk every fight.
I'm betting on Bogdan Grad, boys.
Would he beat Eric Silva because he got his foot caught in the cage? You know, I'm not saying he has no chance to win, but I don't know what this guy's proven.
Yeah. I don't know. This guy's talking about the Nathaniel Wood fight. That shit was super fucking scammy. He should not have won that fight. He cheated hella. Like,
cheated to win in every round.
He should have got 2 points taken, and he almost got knocked out, bro. Like, that ain't like he you know,
twice. He almost got knocked out twice.
And he had big physicality edge there and like just bullied him, but like, I don't know. I don't think that's impressive as people say it was.
There's so much context, and he doesn't have the physicality advantage he had over 135-pound Wood that he does have over Bogdan Grad, because yes, he can get the takedowns, but Bogdan Grad is way more physical than Nathaniel Wood once he's taken down. If you remember, Daniel Pineda was on death's door and took the entire 3rd round off of Nathaniel Wood because he just laid on top of him via physicality. I love Nathaniel Wood. He's my friend. I like him a lot. I speak to him, right? But at 145, we've seen time and time again where some of the physicality advantages of his opponents have shown their head. Now, he hasn't lost those fights, but, you know, there is some context to it. I don't think he can lay on top of Grad for 5 rounds.
Wow.
I just really 3 rounds. I don't think he can.
I feel like he's got to, you know, have big moments or finish him early to look any type of even close to value. And if it gets late, bro, Grad's a fucking like that Aswell fight is aging like pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, bro, he's a massive price, man. Like, come on, like minus 270 Naimov. Like, what the fuck is going on here, bro?
I don't know how he looks at unless he bonks him early. That's why I took the knockout on the 300 mark just because I feel like that's his only way of covering.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I thought
that down Grad. I feel like we have to now.
I thought I would be on Naimov, but after tape, I'm like, I don't know how he looks value unless he like he obviously can knock him out for sure. Like that's that, like for sure, right? But outside of that, I kind of has to grapple him for 15 minutes, and I see him grappling him, and I see him getting minutes of control, multiple minutes. I just don't think it's going to be enough to look value. I think it's going to be enough to maybe get like a close decision maximum. And all of the other equity is like Grad gets up to his feet, hurts him. Grad knocks him out. Grad subs him with a guillotine. Like so many potential wins on the Grad side, in my opinion. But I might look like an idiot because I've gone.
No, like I'm glad we talk about it because, like, that's the thing. Like Naimov could just bonk him early, and it's like everyone's like, "Oh, you're stupid." But I'm like, bro, that's his shot, bro. That's how he's gonna win. Like, you can't be like, oh, he was minus 500 because he knocked him out early. That's just how he's going to win. But yeah, I'm glad we talked about it because pre-tape, I was like, oh, minus 200. I think I'm going to play that. And I'm glad I didn't, bro. Like, I'm glad
that's very different than where it is at now. Also, by the way, minus 200.
Oh, yeah. No, and that was like a few days ago. So I'm glad I didn't. because I'm like, even now I'd be like, oh, I got CLV, but like, I don't know. I don't like any chalk lay on Naimov here. After like talking to you guys and watching a couple fights, I'm glad I didn't do it.
Yeah, and that's why I like Parlay Madness. You know, because I end up speaking out loud, and sometimes I haven't done my breakdown. Sometimes I haven't spoke out loud. Once I start speaking out loud, I kind of get into the flow, and I bounce off ideas off you. And JB shouts out 1,600 price on the submission. He gets my brain thinking, wait there, he choked out Balaji Oki's clone. He choked out this, he tried to choke out this dude. Like, wait there. And then the time starts turning. That's why I love doing Parlay Madness. Like last week, we gave out Alonzo Menafield, right? But at the start of the breakdown, I said, I've decided I'm not going to play Alonzo. I think he's value, but I just don't want to do it. Anyway, once I get into the breakdown, then I go off on a mad tangent. How is Umarov wrestling? Blah, blah, blah. I end up playing Alonzo Menafield, right? And someone commented, you said you wasn't going to play Alonzo. I'm like, bro, you didn't listen to the whole breakdown then. You only listened to the first 30 seconds.
And I have the bet slip right here. So I did bet Menafield. Yeah. Like, what?
Anyway, who gives a fuck? I like speaking out loud about things. Bro, did you see that specific guy? He's probably someone.
No, I didn't see that, but like
probably someone we know in the community. He had a burner account and he screenshotted the first line of my breakdown, which is like, boys, Alonzo Menafield fight. I decided I'm not going to bet him, man. I want to, blah, blah, blah. He screenshotted that, right? And he replied to all your comments. He replied to your comment, he replied to JB's comment, he replied to my comment. He's like replying to everyone who commented on my video where I posted Alonzo Menafield win. He commented to those with the screenshot. He said he wasn't going to bet him. He said he wasn't going to bet him. Like, bro, what the fuck? You are such a loser. Imagine being like, no. He said he wasn't going to bet him. Don't listen to him. No, he said he wasn't going to. Like, imagine being that angry about another man's life.
No, that's just like it had us to be a little kid, bro. Like the video you are commenting on has the bet slip. Like what?
Yeah. Like and I made a video about it. And in my breakdown here, after I said I'm not gonna bet him, I'm like, fuck. I literally said to you, bro, I have to bet him. Remember this one's up. I have to bet him because if I don't, I'm gonna be pissed off with myself.
Yes. If you listen for like 30 more seconds, you hear him say he's betting Menafield. And there's a bet slip in the video you're commenting on, brother. Like what?
It's crazy, bro. But yeah, it is a lot of it probably is little kids.
Yeah, like that's the only way, like to like be like, oh, but you said this. That's little kid shit, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like they're probably like young, maybe like 16, maybe 17 or something. Some of them. Or they just could be grown men who are
they're just really low IQ, and that's very possible.
Yeah, bro. JB's skirted off for some reason. I don't know why.
We were yapping too long. I'm sorry.
Sorry, JB, bro. He's probably gone to get some more pack. We might get some pack. We might get some Oban pack from here, bro. We honestly might get some Oban pack. Like another massive underdog that we have to speak about. Now, we spoke about this on the DMs very slightly earlier this morning. Man, I think that Ko has favorite upside. I honestly do. Now, do I think he's going to look favorite? I don't know. But anytime you get an underdog that has favorite upside, you kind of have to pull the trigger, man. Like, I spoke a lot on the last one. So, Zar, like, tell me what you think about this one. But this is a good one.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. Am I crazy? Like, I think Ko is, like, really good. Like, he's all right. He's decent. You know, like, okay, we're pricing him like he's fucking Val Woodburn, bro.
Yeah, dog shit.
Like, when I say really good, I mean like for his level. Like, I feel like he's UFC level. Like, he's a good fighter. Like, he's well-rounded. He's athletic. Like, he seems experienced in there. Like, calm. Sometimes he can be a little too calm and, you know, hands down get cracked. I do think his chin is a little suspect. So I get like people saying like, oh, Oban's gonna knock him out, but Price is ass. Yeah, he's good cardio, good pressure. Like, I just feel like he seems hard to grapple too. Like he's got everything you need. Just a little, the chin isn't maybe the best. But yeah, he has like a, hands down counter kind of style, and he gets hit sometimes. But bro, he was plus 350 on the Contender Series, like getting super disrespected. But he won that shit clean, 30-27. Like, obviously the first round is sketch because that guy was super dangerous, but like I still think he won that round. And then he won round 2, 3. Like, it was like a vet performance. Like, countering him, grappling him. Like it was pretty impressive. And then on the regional scene, yeah, he got caught, he got knocked out before, but he's also had some good performances where he shows off takedown defense, cardio. Like, I think he's a solid fighter. Like, I think he's a UFC level fighter, and he's hard to grapple and he can strike. So I don't get why Oban Elliott is minus 450 here. Like, I don't get why we're so confident. Like, I get why he's favored. He's a little bit more proven, but I feel like he's, Oban's well-rounded, can grapple a little bit. He's getting better on the feet, and he's shored up that cardio hole that he used to have, and now he's kind of like breaking dudes, which is cool to see. But let's not forget, like, bro, he gets cracked. Like, who has he covered minus 450 over? Like, almost died multiple times. There's this Val Woodburn.
Yeah.
Kike Brito killed him twice. I don't know how he survived that fight. Respect to him. He's got heart.
Yeah.
And then, the Parsons, the Parsons is a solid win. But if you can, negate his grappling, like he's beatable. He's nowhere near, like, Ko on the feet is, better than Parsons. So yeah, and the Hafez fight, Hafez was coming off a life and death with Mickey Gall on the feet, getting cracked, almost dying late. And it's pretty close. Into, like, first 2 rounds are pretty close. Oban catches him, puts him out, which is crazy because he's not really like a knockout guy, and just because Hafez isn't the best fighter doesn't he's pretty tough. So that was impressive, but he was none of those fights he covered this price, and I feel like Ko is better than some of these fighters. So I don't really get it.
Woodburn.
Bro, like, I feel like that's like a no debate. Like, he's arguably better than freaking Hafez and all these dudes. I don't know, maybe not Parsons, but it's a different matchup. And Oban, he can be hurt, knocked out himself. So I don't get it.
He's quit before, bro. He's been broken, bro.
Yeah, I remember, like, Cage Warriors, Figlak got him, but yeah.
Fleming.
Oh shoot, yeah, that was bad. That was a while ago. I feel like
it was a while ago, but it was. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was in 2021, bro. So it's only like 4 years ago. I just. Yeah. Oban Elliott now, people are like, yeah, he's a dog because he pushed through on Contender Series. I don't think it's a guarantee that he's just like gonna push through every. No. I've seen him quit, right? Yeah. So I've seen him quit. That's it.
Yeah, and maybe he has finishing upside just because I feel like his chin is like better than Ko's, but they're both hittable. And yeah, I haven't seen like Ko, like when Ko loses, he gets put fucking out. And Elliott, that was kind of a quit job in both of those fights. But yeah, I think it's clear value on Ko. Like, I think this could be really, really close. And he's plus 400, like plus 350.
Yeah. And like, the reason I'm mentioning that is quit. I'm not saying he is a quitter. I'm not saying he will quit now.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the line is treating it like those fights never happened. Mm-hmm. And what happens if Ko knocks him down and gets top position here? Like, what happened in those fights? Because he just wilted from bottom there. Like, is he going to wilt from bottom again? I mean, it's possible. You know what I mean? It is possible. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, the line is saying that these fights never happened, even though it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, the line acts like he's a 100% different guy. He's gotten better, but he's still the same dude. That was only 4 years ago.
Yeah, so we'll see, bro. Like, maybe he knocks him out in round 1, but there's a lot of fucking hype on Oban Elliott for some reason after knocking out Basil Hafez. Yeah. Is it because Hafez went to a 50-50 fight?
I think that's why, bro.
Or something?
You got to, like, yeah, he got that JDM fight, kind of weird one, but watch the Mickey Gall fight. Who's Mickey Gall, like, doing that to, bro?
Yeah, so, yeah. JB?
Yep.
Well, I think, Oban obviously has the UFC experience. Can you guys hear me good? Am I lagging?
Yeah.
All right, I was lagging before a little bit, so I was just a little worried. Oban could obviously get some wrestling going here, but I don't think Ko's takedown defense is the worst. We need to see a little bit more of it at the higher level, but I think he can defend takedowns here, maybe even get back to his feet if Elliott takes him down. Elliott has had close fights with a lot of guys in the UFC. He's going to decision a lot. his losses are usually via KO, but it's not impossible that he loses a decision. I think Hafez might have been up on him. A few of these fights really close, like 29, 28 type fights. So I think Ko could compete here. Fight goes the distance is like a minus 125. So bookmakers are expecting it to go the distance. And if it does, I think it could be close. So I like Ko money line here, and I like Ko decision. I do think like Elliott should be the rightful favorite, but you know, you're giving me plus 1,000 on the decision prop, and you're saying this is going to the judges. I think that's live.
Yeah. And I was like, wasn't going to mention it in mine because you said in the DMs, like you shouted that out. So I wanted to give you, you know, your chance, but I have that around 11, 12%. I have that at like 11, 12%, and you can find it plus 1,000. So
plus 1,100, like earlier in the week, but now like I see plus 1,000. So you can maybe even look out there, maybe get a better number. I think that's a good way to play it, and then you play the money line as well. Just because I think people just don't know about Ko yet. I think he'll have a solid UFC career.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's going to necessarily win this fight, but I think, you know, the Elliott fade is coming sooner than later. It's just clear that the market's overrating this guy. I think he's a likable guy that's just on a good win streak, and people are just coming more familiar with his character than Ko. But like you said, dude, I don't see how he covers minus 500.
Yeah. Ko kind of reminds me of who's the dude that knocked out
Jekka?
Yeah. Su
I knew
Sang-Yu. Ju Sang-Yu?
Ju Sang-Yu. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Ju Sang-Yu a bit because just because he's Asian and he's very calm. That's the only reason. You know, they don't fight that similar, but they're very calm on the feet in the striking, and they got good counters. You know, Ko is extremely calm, southpaw stance, good leg kicks, 1-2. He counters people very well. And Ju Sang-Yu is similar to that degree. I think Ju Sang-Yu is a lot better. I laid minus 500 in that fight on Ju Sang-Yu. So obviously I would never do that with someone like Ko. But I do think there's some similarities here. And I could see him getting a knockout like Ju Sang-Yu did as well. What did you guys say plus 1,000 was?
On the decision.
Oh, okay. JB's decision. I mean, Elliott's decision.
Oh, no.
No. Oh.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, plus 1,000. I think that's a wide number.
I have it like 12%. Like, I know that sounds like a fat edge, but like, it's because I think the money line's value too, though. So
that's a ridiculous price, boys. Plus 1,000 is absolutely insane. At the end of the day, Oban Elliott, he gets hurt, but like, he does survive decently well, you know, like what the fuck is plus 1,000, bro? Like what? Why?
I mean, dude, there's a reason, like you said, you know, JB's here. I'm plus 50 units on the props, bro. 10% ROI. We're gonna keep it rolling, bro. I've been calling them all, and we've been calling them too, really a lot recently. So
Usman decision last week.
Yeah, bro, that was a sick one, man. There was another one too. We called like the Menafield sub, and he was going for a ninja choke, right?
Yeah, bro.
I was thinking of the row one, bro. We were fucking dialed on that one.
Kevin Holland sub. Man, ever since that Baja sub call I had, bro, I think we just been rolling, and that was like months ago.
Yeah, no,
and screw this guy in the comments. I'm gonna talk my shit now. I'm going to talk my shit. This guy, dude, I literally disagreed on multiple fucking fights last week. I knew somebody was going to say this. And it's not like we're fucking all going to bet the same exact thing. Fucking our bets are different. So at the end of the day, if we fucking agree on the fight, maybe that just means it's the right side.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm literally up 100 units on the year almost. JB's up like 30-something units in the last 2-3 months. If we are agreeing with each other, it's probably a good thing, you know. I'm happy I'm agreeing with them because they're all fucking killing it every week, you idiot.
Yeah. Oh, these sharp dudes are agreeing, huh? That sucks.
Yeah, I'm glad I agree with these lot and not 99.99% of people, including yourself, because I'd be fucking broke. I'd be broke if I was, so I'm happy with that.
It's a bar.
All right, let's right, nice. Elliott Pack. Yeah, Elliott Pack. I like that.
I'm writing down
Oban Pack. We call it the Oban Pack. Yeah, I'm interested in this one now. We chopped it up for quite a bit on that one. So,
and we didn't write down the other dog from earlier.
Oh, Grad
sub.
Yeah.
Grab money.
Dude, parlays might be tough.
Let's run through these big ones.
Yeah, these are easy to run through, bro. We did pretty fun. I think we could probably go through these in like 15 minutes if we actually tried.
I won't be long on these, bro. These are brutal.
I'm ready. What's the next one? Okay, honestly, bro, I don't have a good take on this one. I think it's going to be a very close fight. I think Nadia was the side at plus 180s. I think now maybe... I think he's like plus 170s now. I still think there might be some value on Nadia. I can't fade Park because of the UFC experience, because of the pressure, because of the potential late, cooking that he can do. I really think that if he gets on top round 2, 3. But I honestly think Ismail has a good chance of an upset here. There was no way I would ever play Park here. I would only ever play Nadia, but I just can't fade. I don't think I can fade Park because of, just the UFC experience and the cardio. And just, he's more proven. JB?
I like Park's grappling. Like, do I think he's the greatest wrestler? No, but I like the stuff he does. In the Joseph Holm fights, I know it's Joseph Holm, but there's just a cool moment that I like. Bro, he's going for, like, flying crab rod. Like, that's the way he gets fights to the ground, and it's kind of dope. And then once he gets to these backpack positions, he could kind of start to roll. Another guy that's really good with these wrist rides. He's very smart positionally on top, and I like his process there. Nordiev, we've seen him submitted before on the ground. I do think Park is live to do that here, but I also think he could win a decision. I'll predict Park to win a decision. I think the line's close to accurate. Nordiev does have some solid striking. He's not. I think he's probably the better wrestler of the two. So if he could keep it on the feet, maybe land shots. Park, we've seen Chend as well. I think either guy can get their game going, but I'll say Park rolls a little bit later and kind of starts to go downhill. Nordiev could look really bad here, so I'm going to stay away from it or maybe look to play Park late.
Yeah, that could be a good angle. We both give decent upside to Nadia, but maybe you play props and you play 2-3 or something. Zar, what do you reckon?
Same thing. Like money line, it's tough for me to have a read. I'm going to be looking at props. Same things to you guys, like maybe some Park late props, but I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really done like projections or any math on this, like on the props here. So this is on my list to do after the podcast.
Yeah, fair, bro. Next one. I don't know if you want to write anything.
JB,
I don't feel confident. I don't feel confident enough personally.
Same.
I think it's
tough fight. The over's not the worst. Minus 155. I mean, I don't think Nadiev's going to finish Park. That would be kind of crazy, right? Yeah. And then Park's the only one with finishing upside for the most part. I don't is he really going to finish him round 2? He could do. I don't know. I feel like if the finish comes, it could be over 2.5 rounds. But anyway, it's just one that I saw.
I think it's Park round. I predict Park round 3 decision. So if you want to write it down, I don't hate it.
Okay. Yeah. You get the odds on that?
Right over 2.5 for me. The over 2.5 could look free, But to be honest, Park's going to pressure him. But what I've realized is that no guy does well off the back foot. But I think I trust Park to pressure more. So
if he gets rolling downhill, that could be greasy.
Yeah, Park definitely is a momentum guy in that regard.
I love the dance he did too. He's like,
I know, bro. The turtle.
Cash,
bro, he does not look like a fighter, but he's a dog.
If you're on the side when he does that dance, you're like, yeah, we fucking cash, baby, let's go. But if you bet against Park and then he comes out and he does that little shimmy on you, bro, you're going to be cooked for the rest of the night. You're going to be like, oh, my God, he just dunked on me.
Boys, 841 live viewers. Shout out to everyone.
No way.
Here right now, yeah. Can I ask you a question? You see these questions here? When I get pissed off at these questions, am I a bad guy for that? Because when I see stuff like this in the middle of a 2-hour show where I've put my blood, sweat, and tears and 20, 30 hours of research into taping the entire card for you and giving you a 2-hour show and also 20 videos throughout the week breaking down the fights and all of that stuff. And I have a service where you can pay to get all of my picks if you want my official picks. When I see a question like this, I get pissed off, boys. You reckon am I a bad person for that? What do you think? I'm just a horrible person.
Read the room, or he just doesn't know what's going on.
I think I've seen his name before. I don't think he's a bad dude. I think that people just I don't know. I see both ends of it because
I'm a bad
man.
person.
Maybe I don't. No, I don't. No, because I get it now. Now that I'm like trying to get people to come over and like rock with me and my bets, and you start to understand shit. I think you said something the other day that was really like sharp. Well, you said like I forget what it was, but basically like the quality of people is better with the people that actually pay you the full price, you know?
For sure.
And it's true, bro. It's true.
People that ask for free stuff in the DMs, I just don't reply, man, because those type of people, and I'm not talking about this one comment, right? Like this guy could be a good guy. You have to understand that I get hundreds of DMs every single week, people asking me for free stuff, people asking things from me, right? So you, Dylan, one person there, is not the tens of thousands of people who have DM'd me over the last 5 years, right? And if someone asks me for some free stuff, fuck off, bro. Like, you're taking the piss. I give out so much every single week, and you want to come to my DM asking me for free stuff. Like, what are you even doing? You know, I just don't even reply to them motherfuckers, bro. Maybe when I first started, I did, but 6 years into the game, if you don't want to watch my content where I give out insane amounts of free stuff for hours and hours, if you don't want to pay for my bets, then just don't DM me about free stuff. You know what I mean? So, Dylan, this is not one for you, bro, but just in general, man, those type of people. And you know what happens? Those type of people are the ones that moan the most, the ones that hate on you the most, the ones that talk shit if the free bet loses. If you give them a free bet and it loses, you're the worst person in the world. If someone pays you, right, they are way more respectful to you. They fuck with you way more, and they understand the game way more. So actually, it's crazy because the people who I give free stuff to, they should love me more because I'm not charging them. But it's the complete opposite, right? It's the quality of person who doesn't ask for free stuff. Those are the people that you want around you in life as well. Yeah. You know, like people want my bets. If my friends are asking for my bets for free, I'm like, yeah, I'll give them it. Of course, I would always do that. But if my friends come up to me, and sometimes they do, bro, how much your service? And this is some of my best friends. How much your service? Like, I'll pay to join. I just want to pay just to support you. Those are the real people. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I've realized anyway.
They're out there, bro. They're definitely out there. And shout out to those people for sure because, you know, like my man said, 6 years in the game, giving out free content, it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come overnight. So shout out my man James, bro.
Yeah. I just feel like we're not like shitting on Dylan. It just happened to be a comment that popped up. Like he could easily be someone that's new who doesn't know what's going on and doesn't realize that, you know, James gives out free shit on his thing all week. It's just, we're not shitting on you, Dylan. It's just a good talking point to come up with. Like, you know, maybe spend a second, you know, watch one of his videos and you'll realize he gives out free shit all day.
Yeah, bro. Dylan, shout out to you, my man. I'm just, that's just how, when I see those comments, I'm like, bro, fuck off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And when I see this fight, I'm like, I'm the opposite of fuck off because I love this fight. This is a rematch, boys. If you've seen the first fight, is a banger. Yeah. Daria is beating the shit out of her. And somehow Daria's nose is exploding and bleeding before Mullins'. I don't know how the fuck that happened because Daria, she just, you know, every time she gets hit, she just cuts up easily. She is not a girl that is good for fighting because of how much she bleeds. But Mullins, her nose is fucked. You know, she's bleeding. Daria's catching her with massive shots, body shots, all of this stuff. And then, you know, she looks like she's rocking Mullins. Mullins wobbles for a second. Mullins goes in for a clinch eventually after like 3 minutes, shoots a takedown, gets her down on the first attempt with ease, drags her down via the body lock, goes on top, full mount instantly, finishes her from top mount. I think it was an early stoppage, to be honest. So I wouldn't really.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was. But you know what is interesting is that, like, obviously it's an early stoppage, right? Daria gets back to her feet, and then Daria just like she's got her head. She walks away, and she's not protesting a stoppage. And then she turns back to the camera and her eye is blown up badly. Her eye's fucked. She's really swollen. So I actually feel like, you know, she probably would have got stopped very soon after if it went into round 2, or maybe she would have quit on the stall. Like, it was an early stoppage, but it probably was a justified one based on Daria's reaction and her face, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like she didn't protest it at all. Like, obviously watching it, I was like, what the fuck? It already got stopped. But like, I don't know, her reaction made me want to bet on the under.
Yeah, definitely. I think the under's a good spot here. I did a video about, you're talking about free bets. I did a free bet video 30 seconds before we got on this podcast, and I gave out doesn't go to a decision, Daria versus Mullins. Their first fight didn't even get out of round 1, and I believe that she can finish Mullins. Mullins was hurt by, who's that other chick on this card?
Alexieva.
She hurt Mullins. Did she hurt Mullins?
Yeah. But she can kind of crack. She swings, but like, it's bad luck.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, no, for sure. But she hurt Mullins. Nora Cornoli finished Mullins, and Daria hurt Mullins. So it's very rare where a woman fighter gets hurt in multiple fights. Like, that just doesn't really happen. You know what I mean? Especially at the low level she's been fighting. I mean, it's against Daria, Irina, and Nora. Like, these are not good fighters. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they're not the best fighters anyway. If she gets hurt by all of them, and she finishes one of them. So if she gets the fight to the ground, she should dominate, because we saw what happened with Dara against Eileen Perez. I just think Mullins is going to TKO her on the ground. TKO 2-3, I wonder what that is. But honestly, I also feel like Daria can finish her. I really do.
Yeah. No, like, I don't know. It is a kind of slept. Like, this fight is decent compared to like the Segula Irina. Like, I know we're shitting on these two women's fights, but this could actually be like a banger.
This is a banger, bro. 100%.
Yeah. Dude, it's binary, striker versus grappler. Both girls have a area where they're good and they're dangerous. Like, Daria can crack on the feet, and we've seen Mullins finish on the ground. But both girls have big holes in their game. Like, Daria, bro, she's kind of cookies on the mat, and Mullins is super hittable, gets hurt, like you said, in multiple fights, which is rare for a women's fighter, especially against like lower level girls. She's getting hurt every fight. And first fight, under looked big favorite, and both girls have only lost by finish. I don't know. I think I haven't played it yet. I saw the lines moving, so I missed out. But yeah, I wish I'd taped this fight earlier, because I like violence. But maybe I'll go Mullins ITD because I missed the line on some unders. So yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be much different. Can we get this guy out of the chat that is just like spamming it? Poop gang leader. I don't want to give him any attention, but it's just time to get him.
Oh, he's saying send me Addy and shit. Yeah,
get this dude out of here, bro. He's ignorant.
I can't kick people, right, James?
I don't think so. I was hoping you were able to, but I guess not. And
because I don't run the StreamYard. Yeah, he's gone.
He's right here. He's right here. Actually.
Bro. JB, what's happening with this one?
So I think this fight is interesting. I think Daria is live for a decision.
Yeah.
If she's able to keep it on the feet, that would be like my worry with the under. If it hits the ground, I do think, unless it's late round, I think Mullins is gonna probably finish. The thing is with Daria is, or Mullins is, she's stiff on the feet. She could be kind of unreliable. I believe your call on this one was KO 2-3, but I have a few points I want to make here, and I want to know what you guys think on it.
If you're going to talk about submission, we're going to speak about that one, bro.
Okay, I think it could be a submission, and I'm going to tell you why, bro. Let me bring up some of my notes.
Here we go.
This is some JB notes here, and this is what some of you guys will get, when you come through to the pack squad. We're going to smoke these bookies pack, but I'll give it to you right here for free. This is a rematch of their first fight, and I'm just going to read off my notes. This is a rematch of their first fight, and we know rematches usually play out different. On the feet, Melissa is hittable. She got KO'd by Cornell. She can be a bit stiff at times. Her wrestling isn't the best, but she's physical and makes it work for her. In their first fight, Daria was landing a lot of success, but Mullins able to survive, eat some shots, get it to the clinch, and take her down. Once she got her down, it was straight to mount fight, right into the ground and pound where the ref stopped it somewhat early, but she looked dominant on the ground. Daria has shown no improvements on her defensive jiu-jitsu and ground game on the mat, and she was getting taken down with ease by Rendon, who I am not high on by any means. I had shouted in the last fight with Aileen Perez sub, it was sitting at plus 1,400, and Aileen does not really have a sub game, was able to get an easy arm triangle submission. Obviously, the number here isn't as juicy, but Melissa is training with a lot of BJJ people and makes a lot of posts that shows she goes for it in training. I saw her working with Joseph Chen, and she got a black belt in her very last fight. Training at Gracie Bahar, she's mainly a grappler, so I don't see why she can't find a dominant position, land some ground and pound to set up a submission, or even just process submitter. Fighter preference matters, and Mullen seems to favor the KO, I would say, but I don't think that it's impossible by any means for her to get a submission here. While it's possible that Daria could win a decision or even just survive, I think the ground advantage is so much that Mullen should be able to get the finish if she finds dominant position with enough time in the round. Ground and pound is often a good way to get set up the submission, since it's often at the referee's discretion if they will stop it or not with a submission. Like usually, you know what I'm saying? A submission's a more finite way to finish the fight. And people were saying in the first fight, oh, it was early stoppage. So now, like, if, you want to go for ground and pound, some referees might not stop it. So I think that's interesting. And basically, like there's rare situations like Ogden versus Motta where, the ref called it early or something. Then it's not the same, but that's like super rare. Yeah, like I was saying, I think the first stoppage versus Daria was early. Mullins also has 0 career submissions as a black belt, and if there was a time for her to get one, it would be right now. Like, if you're a black belt, you're going to want to get a sub to prove that, like, it's in your range. And, she's, I believe, an IBJJF champion. I've heard a lot of people shitting on that, but at least she's a grappler. Like, what is Daria? And, yeah, man, I think she's probably going to go for the ground and pound, but we've yet to see her actually need to go for the submission. So I think she may want it, like, on her record. People just, like, want submissions sometimes. So I'm looking for context clues, narratives, but also a stat I'm going to give away. If you listen for 2 hours and 16 minutes of this podcast, I don't often give away stuff like this because it's something that I use when I look at props. But women's MMA fight ends by sub 19.4% of the time compared to KO 15.3% of the time. And this is from the years of 2020, like start of COVID, to 2025. So that's a 5-year span. It's ending at 19.3%. I'll tell you what it was in 2020. 5.9%. Only 5.9% of women's bantamweight MMA fights ended via sub. The next year, 2021, 12.5%. So that's a double increase. The next year, 2022, 23.1% of fights ended via sub at women's MMA bantamweight. 2024 or 2023, 23.5%. Next year, 26.5%. And this year, 2025, it's sitting at 28.6%. So every single year, it's increased since 2020 by a significant amount, and it's on track to do so the same this year. So when I'm looking at fights like these, those are props that I look at across all markets. Certain fights are, more liable. Like a heavyweight, if a fighter like Jelton Almeida, he was minus money to win by sub against, who was it? His last fight, Sergey Spivak. But he was like plus 300 to end KO. If you look at heavyweights, they end a lot more by KO. So, yeah, sometimes I look to see what, fighters' weight class, how fights are finishing, and that's an edge that, I try to keep to myself. But if you guys want to, look at that in the future for props.
Yeah, great breakdown, bro. And I fully agree with you. If you watch back the first fight, how did she finish her? She had back control, both hooks in, and she ground and pounded her from there. Why did she have back control, both hooks in? Well, she took her down, instantly went into mount, which mount can result in finishes. You can get the arm. Where do you set up the arm triangle from? 9 times out of 10 is from the mount, right? Unless it's in a transition. So she can set up the arm triangle. Who hit her with an arm triangle last time? Aileen Perez. And on top of that, why did she get the back? Well, she was in mount. And what happened? She turned and gave the back fully. She gave the back without putting the hooks out, without anything. She just fully gave the back like an amateur, like a white belt. Take my back. She didn't show the back and turn back. Like she just said, take my back. Because she was getting punched, right? So obviously ground and pound opens up the submission a lot more. I think a lot of black belts would give the back if they're getting punched in the face as well, right? So I'm not saying like anything really. I'm just saying that she will give the back here because Mullins will go with the ground and pound. So we can get the arm triangle from top position, but more than likely the rear naked choke from back. Now the issue is she just spams ground and pound, bro, and she always gets it. So why would she go for the submission? At the end of the day, think how many submissions she's got in the practice room. I like submission. I haven't looked at it. I know it's plus 400. It may be better on some other books, but I know it's plus 400 because I looked at it because I wanted to bet it. I thought that I would get a way bigger price because the first fight was TKO. She's never got submission, but instead they want to make TKO plus 220 and sub plus 400. It was just annoying. I thought I'd get 600, 700. Like, I was just annoying, right? So,
Dude,
yeah, I fully agree. Submission is like...
Her sub versus Saigula was like plus 700, plus 800. I played it, and I was like, damn, she just ground and pound her. So I think the way I'm going to play this, like, TKO round 1 is possible, but, like, I just don't, like, if you're going to play violence, I think a TKO for Mullins is going to come in, like, round 2. To get to round 3, maybe she didn't have the advantage.
But I disagree, bro, because, like,
imagine that bad.
Well, because but like obviously the first fight she got fucked up for 3 minutes. She might say, you know what, fuck that, I'm getting into the clinch and taking her down straight away. Imagine how much sweat you will have if she takes her down within a minute.
Yeah, like
you're gonna be like, what, 4 minutes? Daria has to survive on the ground. I can't trust that bitch to survive for 4 minutes.
Yeah,
like my ultimate was 2-3 KO, but I don't know.
Yeah,
fair.
I don't know. It just sucks if they're onto it. Like, yeah, she has no subs. And they're onto it.
We could possibly get a better number later in the week, but I mean, I just freaking did a whole biography. So
usually when you have freaking, 4 out of your 7 wins are knockouts and you have no subs, it's not this close because they know, bro, like this chick's a fish on the mat. It's tough, but dude, 800 against Segula, that's a fucking good line, dude.
Holy I took 1,400 against Daria last time too. Nobody thought anyone could stop her. I said, this bitch is a fish.
Oh shit, that hit, bro. Yeah. Dude, it's like, Daria, she kind of was like, it kind of was looking sketchy, which is kind of hard to get down. But if you get her down, bro, it's wraps.
I know it's ugly, boys. I think the play is Chulkon doesn't go. Like, I know we look, because, like, we want to be taking the plus money. We want Mullins 2-3. We want KO. We want plus 1,000 on KO2. But this shit could come in any round, and it could be by any method. It really could.
Yeah. I'm down. All right.
You're right. If I get plus 500 on the sub, though, I'm going to sprinkle it just because of the reasons I mentioned.
Yeah, same. I would as well. I would like to fade KO. I think it's sharp, just because of the tendency she has on the ground. And even the first fight, the submission was there. The rear naked choke was there, JB. She just didn't go to it for whatever reason, but it was there.
Yeah.
Both two hands on the mat.
That's the thing.
Two hands on the mat in turtle.
Yep. Really? Imagine you're Melissa Mullins and everybody's saying, oh, you got a BJJ black belt, but you've never gotten a submission. Would that not piss you off a little bit? Or I've heard multiple podcasts this week where they're questioning her jiu-jitsu credentials. And then in the last fight, I wouldn't do that. I just think, at the end of the day, like, she probably going to want to sub. And that's the other thing. Like I was saying too, bro, in the first fight, people say it's an early stoppage. How do you really definitively say it's over? Like, the ref either has to stop it or you make that bitch tap and get your first career sub.
Yeah. I just feel like you can only, if you're going Mullins, like, you can only, if you're going Mullen finish, you can only go ITD or you go sub. You can't, I don't think you can play the KO.
No, definitely not where it's at.
It's just not a good price. Yeah, we know it's more likely, but like the price is ass.
Right.
Yeah. But we'll move on. Boys, can you take this one off? I just want.
Yeah. You want to write down sub?
Yeah. I mean, I want a better number. I want to see if I can get a better number later in the week. But for now, I'll write down sub. And I think it comes in round 2, guys. That's my prediction. All I'm going to say.
All right. Shit, I wrote Mullins. Is it Dixon or Mullins? It's Mullins now.
Mullins. Huh?
Yeah.
We're good. Right. Yeah, what do we got next? I think we could slide through these 2 next quick, and then we can make the parlay.
Quick, go ahead, bro.
So I like I think I like violence here too, but I think it could be a trap just because I think a lot of the finish equity maybe comes from early Irina Alexeyeva. She can kind of go balls out for the finish. I do think the KO numbers were a little bit wide early in the week, but I don't know where they're at now.
Yeah. Dude, I saw 800 still. I think that's fucking good.
Fair enough. Like, dude, she hits hard. Ground and pound is live. We've seen Saigula is not great on the mat. Only thing I'm worried about from a money line standpoint is like this girl's been out for a few years. Her wrestling isn't the best. I've seen her go for like, she'll give up double underhooks against opponents because she's comfortable from that position because of her sambo and judo background. But Saygula can get on top. I think her grappling is a lot better than when she's on bottom. And she's 26 years old, still at ATT, training with girls like Cavill. I believe Amarim. And yeah, I think she could be making improvements here. But I'm just gonna take the longer, more physical girl. I think Irina's able to find a sub most likely, but I'm not like I feel weird about the under in this one, and I think KO is live for Irina.
Yeah, I want to look what it's at. Yeah, I just not a ton to say. I just did not like what I saw from Segula and like the physicality and grappling department. Like those are some of the freest takedowns I've ever seen. Like I know Mullins is a good grappler. She's not the best wrestler, and that shit was free, bro, and nothing on her back. So yeah, like I know Alexieva is not very good, but she's dangerous early. Maybe round one, like early props, Alexieva, ITD plus 165. And yeah, obviously it's like the last fight, the sub, but the opposite. The sub's way more likely, but I feel like the KO 800 is not a bad look.
Yeah, like I think dude, I'm predicting a sub.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's a betting show. We gotta talk value here. But yeah,
dude, I think she probably gets on top, does some weird shit, does a knee bar, then she does a little dance. But dude, she hits like a fucking truck in the first round. Yeah. Saygula, I've seen her hit a lot, and I think early, that could be a train that's coming forward that she might not be happy with. Yeah, like I said, worries like she might gas after the long layoff. She doesn't have the best wrestling in the world. I've seen her give up positions on the mat, fall back for leg locks. So stuff like that worries me, and improvements on the other side with the layoff. So I don't know about money line, but I'll be taking the shots on the violence most likely. Yeah. I'm a little worried about it, like I said, because I think a lot of it, the finishing potential comes early from Alexieva. Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of people I've watched on the under this week, and it's women's MMA. Like, sometimes that doesn't always go well, but I do think the KO is live for
It could be trappy, but there's a reason it's pick 'em. Same with the other fight. Like, I just think Segula's physicality and grappling is like nowhere near UFC level. Like Alexieva, she's not the best, but bro, she's dangerous early. I feel like she finishes her probably.
Do you guys know why Irina had a layoff, and do you know what happened with her life?
No, what happened?
No.
So she got caught using testosterone.
Yo,
shocker.
So she had a layoff. She got caught depression. She had suicidal thoughts. She considering suicide, and she cut many of her training partners. So she's still with the same team, but she cut a lot of her training partners. So that's what's been happening on her layoff, which
that's not bullish.
That's head case.
Yeah, which is obviously a very negative thing. And then, I mean, that's really it. But yeah, it was just interesting when I heard that.
Bro, that's not good.
Well, I hope she's all right, man. Like I'm
same,
rooting for her, just in general. Maybe not just in the fight, but in life, That's deep shit.
Yeah, bro, for sure, man. Reminds me of who's the biggest favorite ever to lose as a women's
MMA?
Her name. Holy shit. I was gonna say that story reminded me of her, like head case, like crazy Russian chick, What's her name?
That's mad. She might not be crazy. She just likes. I know.
I already said it. Maria Agapova.
Yeah, bro. She can crack, bro. She fucked up Sabina Mazo back in the day. That was lit.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just kind of fucking terrible. And she's not very good at MMA, in my opinion. She's Russian Ronda, but she's not very good at MMA. You know who else isn't good at MMA? Claudia Segula. But, bro. Like, this is an ugly fight. I don't know what to say about this one. I don't you think there could be some value in Segula though, or not?
I do.
I mean, I'm not laying 275 before you told me that shit about her. So I'm definitely not laying that shit now.
Yeah. I mean, I bet Mullins a -240 and Mullins ITD against Segula. So I don't rate her, right? That shows you what I think of her. It's not
Yeah.
much. And obviously, you know, Irina's got some tricky skills. We saw that in the Egger fight and throughout her career, but I just feel like this is very low level, man. It's probably one of the most low level fights we've ever had in the UFC. And on those type of fights, you know, we're talking about like regional scene, like prelim, main card, regional scene type fight. In those type of fights, I don't think there's a massive skill gap. You know, I would like to lean to the plus 235 more than the minus 275. So it's a very ugly bet. But like I said, boys, I tried to do a top 3 favorites video this week and I couldn't do it. And this is one of the reasons why, you know, and Oban Elliott is another reason why. And Mohamed Naimov is another reason why. And Nazim Sadykhov. And like, there's just all these fighters who I can go through and they're just not reliable at minus 275. And anytime someone's not reliable, you have some interest in the underdog. Oftentimes you don't play it, but you still have some interest. So I have some interest. It's tough for me to see like a true path to victory outside of Alexieva kind of being fucked like mentally and just having a long layoff, maybe not using drugs anymore, having depression. Like these are fucking massive, massive things that can really, really affect you. You know, as we've seen with Bruno Silva in his career and people like that. So, but outside of that, I don't really see much upside for Segula in terms of skill for skill, you know. But Segula's training at ATT, and I know she's locked into her career, you know, and I don't think Irina is. But at the end of the day, man, even if you're locked into your career, if you're not good enough, you're just not good enough. But yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, I didn't hear all of like, what do you think Segula's path to victory is? Because I'm having a tough time seeing it, but I do want to fade this mental issues I know about.
Like maybe
she just has like a bad performance.
I just think Alexieva, you know, not the best wrestler, and they get stuck on the feet, and it's close as fuck.
Yeah, that's what kind of how I see it. Just like clinching, Alexieva comes in looking poor, flat. She gasses out. She gets tired. Some clinch control, some boxing, and she just wins, which is kind of slim. But if she's mentally not there, then it's not slim, you know.
Yeah, I just think there's big finishing upside, especially early. Alexieva, because Segula's physicality and like she just looked really lost in like any grappling. Again, I know Mullins is a good grappler, but those, like I was saying before you're here, those takedowns are so free, and obviously nothing on her back.
Yeah, and she's been submitted multiple times in her amateur career and professional career.
Yeah. Anything we want
She's
on this?
She's got a couple subs though, I will say. Nah, I'm just
Segula?
Nah. Segula 2-3 sub for me. She's gonna take the back.
Lock.
Alexieva is gonna gas because she's thinking about offing herself, and we're gonna cash a big ticket. No, I'm just kidding, guys.
All right. Anything we want on this one?
Does Segula have subs?
Yeah, she has a bunch of them, bro. And Alexieva gives up the back, bro, because she goes for double overhooks and she lets her opponents get double underhooks. But Segula is so weak, bro. She would have to be improving so much, and then the decline from Alexieva would have to be crazy. So, yeah, I would just. Yeah, but she has it on her record.
Really?
Did y'all just hear that?
Yeah, it's a gunshot.
Bro, I think somebody just got.
Somebody got iced.
Y'all heard that?
I heard that.
That's what it sounded like. I think my man Fernando Rodney coming.
Yeah. This is definitely true. That's why it's just, just random. But definitely a negative. But yeah, it is so true. Who knows, right? We don't know. But Tagir versus Maxim. Let's be super quick. I think Tagir is probably going to sub him. If he's not, the shit's going to look pretty close. That's it. JB?
What you said. Good guillotine, good back take. Cnax as it in those spots. Don't hate it. But like you said, the line could be wide. That's enough for me.
Yeah. Literally the same things. Like I looked at Tagir's sub line and I looked at like potentially just the money line being too wide. But yeah, Azat's been like Charles almost choked him a couple times. So yeah, those are literally the two lines I looked at. Was just like Azat money line maybe, and then Tagir sub, because that's the only way I feel like he covers. So yeah,
Fair enough.
We could do the parlays, or we got some fights.
Oh, we got a banger. Don't forget, bro.
I think I smell the gunpowder.
Explosion, man. I hope. Be careful, JB, bro. We need you on
Yeah,
the
get
phone.
inside, bro.
I know, bro. Nah, I'm chilling, bro. I got my
You're
own.
in the Hamdi Abdel Wahab versus Mohammed Usman. Is it the Usman resurgence? Are we going to get two Usman wins in 2 weeks? I feel like Usman's the side, you know. I mean, underdog price, why not, you know? But this is an ugly fight. Maybe Usman can jab him and keep it on the feet. I don't know. Hamdi is kind of shit, but so is Usman. And yeah, this is just a pass fight for me. I think maybe it probably goes to a decision, but the line's not even that great on that. I don't see any of these fighters being good enough to get a finish, though. I mean, it's literally like they're not good enough to finish, you know? So I just don't think they'll finish. If I can get like something in the ones on the GTD, it's not the worst bet. I don't think I'll play it, but maybe I would. I don't know. Like maybe if you get like maybe a minus 175 or minus 180. I don't know. It's possible. It could be out there. I know minus 220 for the over, so we could easily get a minus 190 or some shit. But anyway, that's my only lean, or the underdog. JB?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Not to just echo chamber, but I like the over here as a parlay piece. Could be interesting. Maybe mean bonk for either guy though. Hamdi does get tired a little bit, but I don't see Usman finishing him. I don't think either guy's gonna sub each other on the mat. Usman got like a few Kimuras earlier in the career. But other than that, like he's subbing these super low level guys. So yeah, I think this fight probably goes the distance at a decent clip, but it's heavyweight MMA. I don't want to, put all my eggs in one basket because he could bonk him like he did the Palga. And we don't know where Hamdi's striking's really at. So yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah. Zed?
Yeah, I played Usman like last week. I just, I saw Hamdi. Yeah, I saw Hamdi at minus 200, and I was like, that shouldn't exist. But I don't know. It's not like I'm like super confident Usman wins. I just think it's going to be a fucking terrible fight. Hamdi maybe get some like empty control time early, but like he doesn't really do much on top. And then I feel like the striking is going to be close. Like Usman maybe minute winner, but I don't know. Both guys could have big moments. I just think I don't know how Hamdi is minus 200. Or like I just would never lay chalk on that on Hamdi or anyone in this fight. That's all I'm trying to say.
What's even fighter via decision prop? Is it?
It's like minus 200 to go the distance.
Yeah, it's like so close to over 2.5. You just want to take it over 2.5. Like I looked at it, it's like, oh no, not anymore. It was different the other day.
What about Usman? What about Usman decision?
Minus 190. Oh, not bad.
300 is not bad.
Minus 192 on the fight goes.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I like Usman decision 300. That's not bad.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I just feel like I don't know. Hamdi is not good at like winning rounds, bro. Like I don't know, big moment or like just lays on you.
Plus 300
big too.
Bro, plus 300 Usman decisions, decent, eh?
I'm on his money line already, so I wouldn't go big on it, but
small sprinkle.
I'm definitely gonna add that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So that's
my bad. You're good, bro. I was gonna say it opened like minus 110, and they switched that shit real quick because I guess the money line might have flipped. I don't know what it was, but I was looking at that shit. They fucked that opener up, and then
what opened minus 110?
Like the Usman decision.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Damn. All right. Tough parlay week. A lot of dogs. Who wants to go first?
I might just make one or two or some shit.
I'm definitely making one.
I'll just do one.
Last week, bro,
do a 7 like we did last week. And then everybody comments, "You lost 8 parlays." Like, bro.
Yeah, I lost 8 parlays. Oh, I made 5 grand though. Sorry.
Well, we were about to fuck. Yeah, right. Exactly, dude. I made fucking exactly.
Grand, whatever it was.
If you watch the show, you made a fuck ton of money, and that's a fact.
Yeah. By the way, like these parlays at the end, just if you made it this far, 932 live viewers right now. So shout out 932 of you. I'm speaking to you guys now. If you made it to this part of the show, we're gonna make some parlays now. These are long shot parlays. We're not expecting these to hit at a massive rate. These are for fun. At the end of the show, the breakdown is what you want to listen to and make bets based off of that. So yeah. With that being said, I'll make my parlay. Let's see what we got going on. If you just do a little scroll up, I will go with. Okay, so I'll go with Bogdan Grad plus 230.
Like it.
And then I'm going to put him in a parlay, and I'm going to put it with Mullins and Daria doesn't go, and that's me.
Bang, easy.
Yes, sir. Plus
yeah,
150.
I saw people commenting about the parlays. It's like, oh, I lost a couple plus 1,000s. I'm terrible at betting. Like what? Like you lost a couple sprinkles on some degen parlays. Like you obviously didn't watch what's going on.
Fourth didn't fucking almost win.
It's because people don't know, right? Like I understand to some degree. There are some idiots who will never get it. Like, some people they're just like, oh, there's parlays. Then these are your bets, but they're actually not. They're just our long shots.
Yeah, like please, if you are one of those people that skips to the end of the parlays, like if you want to make money, watch the show on 1.5x. Don't just fucking do the parlays, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
That's me. 450. Nice.
Yeah. Clean.
Oh, ahead, I'm lagging so bad, boys. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you didn't write down Grad sub, bro. No, I'm just playing.
Oh shit.
I'll
go
1600.
1600. I remember.
300.
What's up?
Yeah, let's go. I don't know. I think I'm lagging a little bit, bro. You guys are like a step behind me. It's a little weird, but I'm going with Usman decision.
Usman decision.
And then I'm gonna go with. Oh my god. No, I know, bro. I'm gonna Usman decision. I'm gonna leave and come back though because this is terrible for me.
Okay, I can make mine.
You already picked Mullins versus Daria. Doesn't go. Scroll up for me. Okay, yeah, do that because it's lagging really badly, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna make mine real quick. I think he's just like a little bit behind, so it's hard to talk to him.
Yeah.
All right. Fuck. This is brutal. Go Ko and Kuniev.
Gang, the KK parlay, not the KKK parlay, but the KK parlay.
Yo, I'm feeling this. Like, it's kind of my juice. Is the multi-round KO prop.
Jeez. If he wins, it looks live, right?
Yeah.
Whether it catches.
He slumps in round one, I'm gonna be hella happy, but then I'll be like, oh, my parlay.
I've had that before. I had that crazy when I had to put a fuck ton of money on Ilia Topuria money line because I did like a content type piece. So I had like over 30K on him and against Max Holloway, right? But I had already been on like the over 1.5 like early in the week. And that's the bet that I sent out to like everyone. So obviously I'm wanting them to win as well. So like I'm cheering for Topuria. I'm like, yes, I'm going to win my massive bet. But then in the back of my mind, I'm like, fuck no, it's under 1.5 rounds. Like, or it was over 2.5. Sorry, it was over 2. I'm like, oh no, shit, it's over 2.5. So I'm celebrating because I'm recording it. I'm like, fuck, people are going to be annoyed that I'm celebrating because I won, but like, because they lost. But like, you know what I mean?
That's just how it goes, bro. Like when you have multiple bets on a fight, like you're not going to hit like, you're not going to get the world every single time. You know, if you win a little bit more than your EV for the fight, you're lit.
Yeah, but I hadn't sent out Ilya.
Oh, shit. I get what you're saying.
I just did, you know, the $10 per like thing?
Yes, you did that for Topuria.
Yeah, I did that. So yeah, so that's what happened. So I was celebrating. I'm like, but all my guys lost. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it sucks for your real guys who, you know, support you,
Yeah.
but all the like people on the social media are like happy. So it's tough, bro. It's tough.
Well, usually I bet on like I'll bet on that $10 per like, you know, and then or also I'll tell people, I'll tell everyone in the chat, like, by the way, boys, I'm betting on this. Like I'm just doing it for content though, so it's up to you if you want to tell. Like I wouldn't tell. Yeah.
And then it's Max. Oh, that fight was so sad. I love Max, bro.
Yeah, bro. Same.
All right.
But I like Topuria.
No, bro, like as a fighter, like he's just like, if I could fight like someone, it'd probably be fucking Topuria, bro.
Oh, yeah, of course. Knockout galore.
And fucking got the grappling too, just the swag. Fuck. Oh, I need to do the math. Yo, what can we DM him and get what his parlay is? The people need to know.
Yeah, I thought you would join back, but
yeah, I'll hit him on Twitter.
I'll hit him on Twitter.
Okay, I'm doing a crazy one. Shit, I'm going with Orolbai.
Oh, really?
ITD, yeah, fuck it.
Wow, crazy.
Like, if something I like, I'm gonna go long shot, bro.
Nah, do that.
Fuck it.
I might do one for the Jew, just because I want to do another one. No, he's here now. He's here.
Gotta go grad sub.
Yeah, grad sub and Segula sub too.
Ooh,
not even 2-3. Not even 2-3, just 2.
Yeah. No, he said round 2.
You need to connect your mic and camera before I can add you to the stream, Jewish. Let me see if I want to do another one.
Wow.
Kuniev and Co could be a gangster one.
After I said it, I was like kind of joking. I was like, bro, it could be the Usman Menafield.
Woo.
Bro, my fucking mic is gonna fucking echo now because my laptop's doing a fucking update. But if you guys go join my fucking thing that I just started up, I'm giving out picks. I'm giving out a whole lot of info. And maybe I could get a new fucking laptop. Or maybe I get a mic. Or maybe I get a studio. Who knows? Maybe I'm already doing that. But I'm going with Mullen sub. And that's my final fucking answer.
I like it. Jorik, I got that on Bovada. Wait, let me make sure.
Yo, crazy story too to end this, bro. John Cena followed me today, bro. Let's go.
Was that actually? I thought was that.
No, that wasn't actually John Cena though.
Yeah, it was. How much you want to bet?
Are you serious,
bro? Why did John Cena follow you?
I thought you were like sending it to us as a joke, bro.
No, I thought that was like, you know, because I always get that, but it's like fake accounts. Like,
right. I have.
Nah. Don't lie. Let me see this.
Yeah, dude. What's the over under on me bullshitting you right now?
Oh, wait. Oh, he follows me. Oh, shit.
He follows you too?
Wait,
nice.
Yeah. How many people does he follow?
He follows 1 million people, bro. He just follows, like, it's a system that just, like, follows everyone. But still, bro. He follows us. He knows about the Parlay Madness gang, bro.
Oh, that killed it all, bro.
No, bro. He knows who you are, bro. He knows exactly who you are.
Yeah, I don't know if the human brain can hold 1 million people in there.
Well, he said basically what his opinion is. He like wants to see everybody's opinion. He likes X as a platform. Like, just even if he doesn't agree with you, he gets to form his own opinion based off of other people's.
Should I big dog him and not follow him back for the state? Nah, of course. Give my man a follow back.
We got Jorik, here you go. 2-3. Oh, you can't see it, but it's on Bovada, the combo. 2, 3, 4.
John Cena's come in the show, bro. He's fucking, you can't see it.
Yo. All right, we want another parlay or slim pick?
I just want to do the double K parlay. I want to do it.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, we don't even have to include this in
on that. Let's collab.
We could do crazy parlays, and we don't have to necessarily put them in.
Double K parlay. I want it. I really want it. I want to place it myself. I'm gonna place it, so I might as well put it on the show. Because if it hits, then I can claim it was on the show. But if it misses, fuck, we're up 50 units since we started, or some shit like that. Crazy.
Bro, I won 10K in the past like 3 months, bro. This is like one of the best streaks I've ever had. It's definitely a blessing, bro.
Yeah,
same, bro. We carry it this weekend.
we were talking about that in the DMs. Like, this is, I think I've had one losing week since like I started, like, you know, being pro duty,
Yeah.
Let's go.
which is nuts. Yeah, the KK parlay seeming like it's plus 150 max.
The boys. That's what I'm talking about. Pro dude getting used to it now. He's becoming furniture here.
Yeah.
1273. Damn, I thought it'd be higher. I don't know. My math's fucked.
Wait, but you don't think he could win a decision? I'm just
on that pretty big, just not to parlay.
No. Wait,
that's
but
a great one.
KO by decision? That's crazy, right?
Should we do the KK by decision parlay? Both of them via decision.
I think that would be our biggest cash ever, bro. Let's do it. I'm in. I'm gonna play it too.
I'm definitely. I'd put
Bro,
play all.
That's yeah, I always do too, bro. But that's one I might actually throw like a stake on. Like I might put like usually I put 25 on like the main parlays and then a little less on like the long shots. I might do like 30, 40 on that just to go nuts. So if it hits,
I'll put fucking 100 on both these KK ones.
Let's go, bro. And we've been doing good lately, so it's like, bro, a couple parlays ain't gonna fucking crush my bankroll.
Bro, last week I was so pissed off, man. Like,
bro, that could have been the fucking legacy night.
Here. Look, right here, I got them. Got all the parlays.
Could have been the legacy night.
Yeah, it could have been for sure, dude. And especially with Horth. I mean, dude, if she had won originally, just in like round 2 or 3, I would have probably came up like 20 units right there, which is nuts.
Bro, yeah, I had 2-3 KO also, bro. Fuck.
Great read, bro. I mean, hey, it is what it is. We'll catch them again eventually.
Yeah. I can't complain, bro.
I'm just looking at these.
Those are the ones you gotta expect to throw away, bro. Unfortunately, and
so depressing, bro. Looking at some of these parlays again.
Yeah.
Because how did this one not hit, bro? This was the KO. Can you see that one? KO parlay.
Oh, the
Malik round 1, bro.
He had his round 3 prop. He had his round 3 prop.
What about my one with
Bro, look at this one. Oh no, that wasn't that close. Fuck.
I thought I had a goat.
We have this one. Edmund Shabazian to win via KO. Jose Ochoa ITD. 500 to return $3,000. That's a lot almost. Edmund could have KO'd him 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, bro. It's like he didn't want to, bro.
Jamie Lynn Horth won.
Fuck.
Gross.
Happens, boys. But this week
bro.
we're gonna double. Did you do the double K by decision parlay?
Oh, 100%.
What is that one?
6,500.
Wow.
Yeah, that's hitting. That's only a 2-legger, bro. If we hit one, imagine we hit the first one. This game on, boys. This game on.
Yeah. Disclaimer: this is DGen. Please watch the show.
Oh yeah, this is
degenerate. Yeah, you'll always get those people though, bro. And end of the day, like James said before, the people that pay up are the ones that are going to benefit long, and those are the people that are actually smart. So they're the ones that are gonna. Like, I got a message the other day from a guy. He's like, "Bro, I'm gonna go to the casino right now, and I want to put $1,000 on a lock. Like, what you got for me?" And then he said he's gonna join my thing. And like, if you're listening and you're this dude and you're listening to this, like, sorry, but this just kind of made me feel weird. But like, he's like, dude, do you care if I Venmo you the money? Because I don't want to pay the fees on like the Patreon. I'm like, dude, what are you're gonna go put $1,000 on a bet at the casino, but you don't want to pay $2 or $3 in fees to fucking get my info?
That's what I'm talking about, bro. The people that ask for the free stuff are not the people you want to be around, bro.
That's the like that Maddie quote, bro. Like, you argue over you thinking about pennies gonna cost you dollars.
Yeah.
It's a good quote. That was a bar.
No, for sure. And shout out to dude Maddie. That's still my guy. Like, end of the day, bro, I enjoy working with him. Hopefully he can come on the show one day, bro. I talked to him about that too. I think he would be down.
He'll come on for sure. Why not?
Maddie's a boy, bro.
He was going to do it once already, and then he had to do something. But yeah, we'll get it done.
All right. Solid.
Nice.
Much love, guys.
Start with the main card, bro. Like, at the end, we were just 2-minute breakdowns.
Good, bro. I'm fucking tired, boys.
I'm hungry.
All right, boys. Love, man. Peace and love. Shout out to everyone. Hopefully we crush it this week. Parlay Madness gang. Let's fucking go, boys.
Let's go.
Thanks, James.